Welcome back, or for the first time, welcome to Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast. I'm one of your humble hosts, Ween.
And I'm Ray.
Yay! And together, we
watch horror movies and we talk about them.
Thank you.
And tonight we have a pleasure to talk about. After the dregs of last time.
Yeah, I'm sorry for, the first one, because we've been going over the whole Halloween series, and let's be honest, not all of them are so good. And I feel like I was just complaining and whining and being negative a lot, but not tonight.
Oh, no, we got some good shit.
Yes.
And also,
so happy.
We are finally finishing up this series.
Woo! Cheers, right?
Yeah, Shalanja.
Shalanja, the toast of our people.
Miss Ween.
Yeah, right.
You got a pickle tickle for me this week?
I sure do. You know what pickle my tickle?
What's that?
Giving you a Christmas gift.
Ah! I love it! I'm drinking out of it right as we speak.
I know. I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. I'm so glad you like it. I got Ray a mug for Christmas. Coffee mug. Shameless plug. For a friend of mine who designs these cool coffee mugs. And, there's a ton. There's a lot of even horror-themed ones. There's a lot of horror-themed ones. There's a lot of, really, swear words and sarcasm and cute stuff. There's also some, spirituals and just really cute stuff. And I got Ray the one that has Harry Styles on it.
Yeah, because, I'm only a 41-year-old woman.
Yeah, give or take.
Lusting after some, I don't know how old this gentleman is. It doesn't matter.
Think about it. No, it doesn't matter. Let's not think about it.
I mean, he's with Olivia Wilde, who I believe is older than me. Maybe she's younger than me. It still doesn't matter. Fine. No. But what it says is single, taken, or mentally dating Harry Styles, and there are check boxes, and the one that's obviously checked is mentally dating Harry Styles. Check. Who wouldn't be? I mean, honestly, he's gender fluidity and
I appreciate
sex positive, that. And he's all about knowing yourself and being a feminist, and who wouldn't? Come on. Also,
I admire that.
The dress and, wearing the dress, and I was like, you know what? People are just pissed off about it because he looked good in it. It's all right. What?
I never saw the dress. I know I've heard tell of this, but I've never actually seen it.
You've heard tale of the dress.
I've heard tell.
Word on the street.
Right.
Gender is just a construct, so.
What does RuPaul always say? We're all born naked and the rest is drag.
There you go. Go. Yeah, and I'm sorry. Watermelon Sugar is one of the best songs.
He's quite the cunning linguist.
Yes, he is. But you know what the best part of it is? The video is the fucking best. Because it's a whole field of women, these really good-looking, beautiful women, and they're playing on the beach with each other. They could give two fucks that Harry Styles is there, and I kind of love it because
I like that too.
They kind of just told the girls to go play, have fun.
Or they could have told him play and whatever, but climb all over Harry, and you just want Harry Styles and look him and whatever.
Yeah,
it's not about that, man.
No, they were they're like, go have fun, and we're just gonna and Harry was kind of like, I don't need them to be crawling on me. It's fine. And every time it sounded, from what I read, it's every time, I'm glad this is the Harry Styles cast now. Every time he would ask them, if he had to touch them in the scene, he'd ask them, is it okay if I touch you? Are you comfortable with me touching you? Super consent. Love it. Love it.
Nice. Checks, check, check.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Miss Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
What's your pickle tickle?
Well, I have two. The first is we got comment from fucking Ken Foree.
I know. That was amazing.
Which made me laugh
Ken thank you if you are listening to this somehow magically. Thank you. We love you. You were amazing.
Yeah, I'm sorry that the rest of it was. I mean, because he happened to like and comment on the one where where you were saying that Rob Zombie's a fucking hack, and I was like
several times,
and like
like he wasn't. That wasn't his fault.
No, and I felt bad because I was like,
he's doing a job, man.
He did a good job, and unfortunately, because of time, I had to cut out our bit about him where we praised him for about 10 minutes. So,
maybe we should just post that as a response, like as a reply.
Oh, that would be a good idea.
Just give him that.
You can send it to him and be like, we really like this part.
Actually, we really love you. Sorry about that.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, but you could go ahead and tell Rob what we think because we don't give a shit.
Yeah, I really don't give a fuck. He
no.
doesn't give a fuck what I think, so whatever.
No, he doesn't care about the fans.
Obviously.
Of the original. Yeah, so that was like, it was like just 4 fire emojis. I was like, what is happening? And I had to look to make sure it was him because I was like, Ken Foree 8. That sounds like somebody. And then I looked, I'm like, oh fuck, no, it's attached to his, it was attached to his Twitter. And it was like literally his first day on Instagram. So I was like, great. Poor Ken this is what he sees.
Way to make an impression. That's what we do.
Yeah. We're classy like that.
She makes an impression wherever she goes. Gem and the Holograms. I could have a podcast about fucking Gem and the Holograms.
I'm sure there are ones out there we can reach out and see if they'll let you guest on it. Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yes.
Well, speaking of guesting.
Anyway.
Speaking of guesting. My buddy here,
Ray,
my co-host, guested on my other podcast.
Did.
Yeah, with our friend Veronica, the Chick Lit Book Club.
Last night.
Jesus
it was
Christ.
Great.
To the Chick Lit Book Club podcast, we talked about Window Shopping by Tessa Bailey and Ted Lasso a lot. We made you read a book.
It was
but we had such a good time, and I think it was mostly love fest between the 3 of us, and then we also read a book.
It really was because we just miss each other and like it's been a while. So we were
don't make fun of me about Michael Bolton. Yeah, so it was we had a good time. We got very intoxicated off of Rudolph Spritzer's what I'm drinking right now because it's the weekend. So yeah, that was my tickle pickle for the week.
Yay, that was
so
fun.
That'll drop on Tuesday. So toot beep beep. So we will I will link to it on our Insta and Twitter, and at some point in the next few days, weeks, we'll be launching our new website because then I can finally pull the domain over to the new site. So we'll have boobsandblood.com up.
Wow,
I know,
that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we talk about these movies?
We sure shall. Shall we?
We shall. Let's go do that. So, dance. We're going to take a brief respite and come back and talk about... Thanks, Veronica. And come back in 2 and 2 and talk about Halloween.
Respite. Yay.
Okay.
We are back. I don't know. I'm a lot less enthusiastic today. I'll try to keep it up because last night was like really late.
Yeah. We also we don't have as much vitriol for this one as we did. I mean,
which oddly gives me energy.
Yeah, it did. It gave us the rage carry to the rage. Yeah. All right, so let's do a little bit of production. We're talking about Halloween 2018. Written and directed by David Gordon Green. I believe both. He both wrote it and he
did both.
Yeah, with Danny McBride, of all people, Danny McBride. But if you've looked at David Gordon, so DGG. I'm going to say, like, most of his work has been done with Danny McBride. So,
okay.
Yeah, they did.
Also, I don't know about founder, but he helps run or is part of
somehow Blumhouse Records or Blumhouse.
Oh, David Gordon Green is?
I think, right? Is that the guy?
Yeah, I didn't know that. Because I know Jason Blum had a huge, he and, so Blumhouse and Miramax.
I'm probably wrong, so hold on.
Co-financed this. If there's a soundtrack part, he probably does. But this was supposed to be. So what happened was in 2015, actually, Dimension lost the rights to Halloween. So Blumhouse is like, I think I'll take this, and so.
I see. Sorry, DGG just does a lot with Blumhouse. Sorry.
No, it's
sorry.
all right.
Sorry.
When it moved over, Dimension was actually putting something together for like it was supposed to be called Halloween Returns, and it was going to be written by Patrick Melton and Marcus Dunstan, and then that kind of fell through when Dimension lost the rights, obviously. So when Blumhouse came in and Miramax and were like, yeah, we're gonna take this. They knew that they needed to make this, like, they needed to clean it up and bring it back to its roots. And so they then in 2017, actually John Carpenter, because they wanted John Carpenter in some capacity. I mean, this might be the last time they get to do it. And they wanted to make it good and something that was an actual homage to his movie. So in February of 2017, Carpenter announces that the new Halloween film will be released in October of 2018. It was going to be written by DJG and Danny McBride, and then also directed by Green. So it's a direct sequel from the first movie, so it completely ignores 2, which I think was the selling point for John Carpenter, because he didn't want to make them siblings in the first place, and so now that's completely out the window.
No, which is totally nice. And it, like, if you're following that, which I did eventually post, that little map that I posted, the Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and the one that's coming out next year, Halloween Ends, directly correlate to Halloween 1 in 78 and Halloween 1 alone.
Yep. And which I think that's what brought Jamie Lee Curtis back, because she was like, oh,
none of this other nonsense.
Right. And so you have Carpenter signed on as an executive producer in 2016, and he describes his intention as 38 years after the original Halloween, I'm going to try and make the 11th sequel the scariest of them all. So we have Nick Castle's back as the Shape. He at this point is the oldest actor to ever play the Shape. And then James Jude Courtney was pretty much, from what I understand, Nick Castle did a lot of the sounds, but Jay Courtney did most of James. I won't say Jay Courtney. That's a different actor. James Courtney did most of like the physical acting, for the most part. There was some stuff that
I feel like as I was watching 2018, I feel like I could see certain times, because credit to James Courtney, he got Nick Castle's movements down pretty well.
He did.
But I felt like there were times when Michael would be walking and I was like, oh, Nick Castle. Oh.
Yeah, and that could possibly be. It could have been. It's not specific as to what,
because you don't know. You don't know who's doing what when.
Right. I'm sure somebody out there, like a super fan, has it all broken down. But
they probably do.
Right. I mean, that's fine. I have a job.
Either way, right. It's fine. I loved it.
Yeah. Despite Green and McBride's comedy roots, Halloween was distanced from the comedy genre. McBride further elaborated that this isn't a comedy at all. I think there was like maybe one joke on the page, but the rest is straight horror. I'm sorry, I have a lot of things written down that I laughed out loud. Julian.
I did too!
Fucking Julian.
Julian. Oh my gosh, he was my favorite. That kid. He was
the
so
fucking
good.
best.
He was
all
so
right,
cute.
let's get into it.
Let's
How about
do
that?
it.
All right. So,
Halloween 2018.
Oh, smash cuts. Yeah, smash cut to the Smith Grove Sanitarium.
Where Michael has been locked away for 40 years.
Not uttering a word.
Not. Some new journalists want to study him. He's yet again been being transferred to another facility. Don't see anything going wrong there.
We're introduced to Dr. Sartain, who is was a student of Dr. Loomis's and has been taking care of Michael since Dr. Loomis left. I would assume retired and passed away in a not violent.
He's dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But it's nice that they just get these things these nitty-gritty out of the way. Like, to start, none of that other shit happened. We're only connecting to the first film.
Right.
Like, the next night didn't happen yet.
Yeah. Well, we get these two douchey podcasters.
Yay! And I love that they're podcasters.
Yeah. British podcasters that they're interviewing Michael before he moves to Glass Hill. I think it's Glass Hill. I think it was.
Somewhere.
So,
somehow this podcaster has a quote-unquote buddy with the state attorney general's office and somehow acquires Michael's mask.
Right, because that's not
I'm going to call bullshit on that, first of all. No, there's no fucking way.
Right.
Because when these podcasters go to I kept calling them journalists throughout, and that really, I'm sorry, but calling them podcasters is they're not journalists. That takes it a couple steps down. But,
I mean, there have been some podcasts that have done some really good journalistic work, but these ones, no.
I'm saying it this way: all thumbs are fingers, not all fingers are thumbs. You know what I'm saying? Not all podcasts are created equal.
Not all podcasts are journalists. Journalists can be podcasters.
Correct.
They do. We had this gorgeous, stunning shot, though, of what looks to be a chessboard almost, because it's tiled. They're all these patients are outside, which I was like, oh look, there's patients in a sanitarium. Thanks, Rob Zombie. I can know what extras are. And it looks like a chessboard. It's kind of fucking amazing.
Because they are, because even though they're institutionalized, they have to give them some kind of ray of light and sunshine and outdoors, even though they're being chained up in this Foursquare thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thing. Right. But they still have some, room to walk, and they have them, they're all outlined in yellow. Yeah. Among these square tiles, so that everybody knows not to cross those lines. That's as far as they get.
Yeah. And there's Michael standing with his back to us. Yeah. Man. When these podcasters go up and fucking taunt him.
Fucking idiots. Yeah. I said the douche brings Michael's mask, trying to get him to talk. Fucking it. He's shaking Michael's mask, and he knows. And the podcaster's like, you can feel it. You can feel it, can't you? Talk to me. I don't know, whatever. And then they cut.
Because it's pissing off. It's it's riling up all of the other patients.
And it's an energy thing, because they can pick up on, they're seeing Michael is getting pissed.
Yeah, we see. This is one of we don't see Michael's face, but there's a number of times in this where it's a maskless Michael, and we do see
get a little cheek profile,
right?
Sideburn.
Mm-hmm. Now in the second one, we get a face for literally, I had to pause it a number of times.
Second.
Yeah,
I still didn't get it.
It's very reminiscent of H1 of 78.
Right.
Yeah,
right. Which was the point.
So then we get credits. And this is where I wrote, thank you, John and Cody Carpenter. The score.
Yes.
Mwah.
The score, chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I want to lick it and eat it. And I loved the opening sequence of the reverse decay pumpkin.
Yes.
It was like, we're bringing the story back.
Yes.
Like, this pumpkin has been decayed and dead for like 40 years, but obviously it only takes like 4 fucking weeks for pumpkin to fully decay.
Yeah.
But it like reverse, comes back into a full-size jack-o'-lantern, and the fire's lit, and we go back to the story.
Yeah, and the second one is the number of different pumpkins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Which I now get.
It's all of the movies. Yeah.
All of us, yeah, and it's all of us. Right?
Well, it's supposed to symbolize the movies, the number of movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't count, so.
But I like that you're bringing it inside. I like that you're bringing it in. Yeah, I like it. Internalizing it.
Right.
So then we get these podcasters, Aaron and I wrote it down because I was like, I felt bad that we didn't. Dana and Aaron, and they approach Lori because they need her story, and she won't. I mean, and FYI, guys, Lori is now like a doomsday prepper.
Oh, right. She's full on
she...
doomsday prepper. She has this high security fortress that she lives in. That it's gated, and there's a little speaker box they have to, like, not gated like Beverly Hills. No. It's like in the middle of a forest and very hard to find on purpose.
Right, like doomsday preppers.
Yeah.
And they pay her $3,000 for the interview.
Oh, right. Oh, I wrote down this quote: journalists don't pay for their interviews. Ha ha ha.
Right?
Yeah.
We've all seen like everything that's got something to do with a journalist. Come on.
Yeah, please. Please.
Yeah. Well, so I love this line. So they get in to see Lori, and her house is like, it's not what, I mean, I was there going, man, there's a lot of paneling in this house. And there's a reason why this house is kind of like,
there is a reason that we don't know yet.
Yeah, there's a reason we don't know yet. But just think about, like, it's all paneling. There's not much, it's very much not taken care of.
There's like a nice wood fire stove, though. And
well, right. But there's nothing that makes it hers. Like, there's no personal accents anywhere. It's very much, I live in this place, I keep it clean, and that's about it.
But
But it's very
this
utilitarian.
This is where I survive.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But she has a line that says, Michael Myers murdered 5 people. I've been married twice, and I'm a basket case. And I mean, if you want to sum up fucking Laurie Strode's life,
there
you go. But she has had a child, and CPS actually took this child.
Yeah, and we find out that she's twice divorced, lost custody of her daughter Karen when she was 12,
and
these
never gave her back.
No, she never got custody back. Don't know who her husband was, or if she was even married. Who knows? We don't know that, but that doesn't really matter. And I go, these yucks think that Michael will speak to Lori after 40 years of silence, and only Lori. Ha!
Well, it's really interesting. I think it's funny because I think they think, and it bleeds into 2, it's very prominent in 2, is that, and Lori thinks this too, and I wonder if it's the truth. I think they think he's coming back for her, but I don't think, if the movie posits that's not what he's coming back to Haddonfield for. So I don't know if, it's not. So part of me is like, Lori didn't even have to really live like this.
No,
because he wasn't coming for her.
But she didn't know.
But she didn't know.
Because the boogeyman was coming after her. And kept coming after her. That night.
Yes.
So, and that's sort of what we are all, even throughout the series, it's still hard to shake all the old movies, right? That we still kind of had that mentality going, like, there's something about her. And that's where the whole, I'll stop that right now because it is brought up in the next few minutes of the movie, that whole thing on why everybody had a theory about Michael and why Lori, because even in the very first film she was like, why me? Why me? And
it very much goes back to what we talked about. our first episode when we talked about 1 and 2 is that it was a lot scarier when it was a faceless, nameless killer that had no reason.
Face.
It was like,
blank face.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
reason.
he had no motivation except to kill.
And sometimes there just is straight up evil in the world.
And DGG gave us this. That's what we wanted. That's what the whole first one was. That's what this is. It is just it's a means to an end. It is a means to an end on each decision that's made by Michael in this movie, and it has nothing to do with Laurie, which is sad because she has built her whole life around the thought that he is coming for her. We do then meet Karen. We meet Karen, her daughter,
played by Judy Greer. Love her.
Judy Greer.
I have always loved.
Underrated Judy Greer.
Very underrated Judy Greer. Yeah. I have been rooting for her since the first movie I saw her in, which I can't even recall right now. Decades ago.
It's Kitty from freaking Arrested Development.
Development, I know. Yeah. Well, even before that, I don't remember when I saw her, but I loved her.
And they always put her. It's like, oh, you want a best friend. Put Judy Greer. It's like, why can't Judy Greer be like the fucking lead?
She's a fucking good actress.
She's cute. I'm like, why can't she get the lead dude? Why is she fucking Kate Hudson's BFF? Kate Hudson sucks. Anyhow, so then we get to meet Laurie's son-in-law, Ray, who is the biggest fucking doofus in this movie. My favorite line of his is, I got peanut butter on my penis.
Now it's on my hand. He's setting up these
so lovably stupid.
Yeah, he's just a derp, and it's fine. But he's like, I mean, he, to his credit, because Karen, we kind of figure out later, or get the sense later, that Karen is some sort of counselor, therapist, psychologist, social worker, that area. Mm-hmm. My thinking is she's a straight up psychologist, because, for reasons that will be explained.
For reasons.
But Karen lies to her daughter Allison.
Yes.
Allison is Laurie's granddaughter. About, it's very clear that, so we just finished the podcaster's interview with Laurie, who's, admits and they say that her 12-year-old daughter was taken away and she never regained custody. So obviously there's a hint of that strained relationship. And they also hinted that there's a strained relationship, not just with her daughter, but her granddaughter. Cut to Judy Greer and her daughter, Allison. And they're celebrating her induction into the National Honor Society. Huzzah, it's really awesome. And Allison wants her grandmother, Laurie, to be part of the celebration.
Who's Allison dating? Allison's dating Cameron, who happens to be
in Egypt's land.
Well, no, who happens to be get your ass away from there, Lonnie, from Halloween '78.
His son.
But
we don't know that yet.
No, but he does. Ray does say Lonnie a couple times.
Does he?
Mm-hmm. Oh, because they start talking about how Lonnie used to sell him peyote, but then you find out later it's that peyote. Peyote. Can't say it right. Anyhow, whatever. And peyote, and then it was actually Ray who sold it to Lonnie. But it's Lonnie. It's get your ass away from there, Lonnie.
Get your ass away from there.
Yeah, it's my favorite line. Favorite fucking line. Yeah, so that they were supposed to all meet Cameron for the first time that night at dinner. So Allison doesn't, obviously, like you said, does not believe Karen's story. So she reaches out to her, and they kept calling her grandmother.
Right.
I was
you
like,
reach
can
out
someone
to
just call her
grandmother?
grandma? Yeah, someone just call her grandma, please.
Well, but it shows,
It's a lot. It's a lot of words to keep repeating over and over again.
Did you call grandmother? Did you tell her about the thing? Karen's like, oh, yeah, but she can't come. Sorry about it.
Yeah.
But Allison smells her bullshit.
And so she reaches out to Laurie, and they meet up, and then Laurie actually gives a 3,000... Huh?
Later on. They, before that, there are two scenes that I thought were noteworthy. Allison is walking around with her friends, and this is where they put the kibosh right on it early on about the brother theory with Michael Myers. Because it is no secret. Laurie Strode is infamous in this town. It is no secret, what is up with her.
Right.
And that she's kind of crazy and whatever. They put the kibosh on that really early. The friends are talking about, but isn't that your uncle? Or, everybody has had a theory that, they were brother and sister, but that's not true. So...
Because honestly, when I started watching Kills, I thought, oh God, are they going to bring that up? Is this going to be a secret that they really were siblings or something?
Right. I know, I was a little bit, but they didn't, and I loved that because I always thought there was just something. Because again, it's maintaining that he's coming after her. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just this random whatever,
right.
which was originally supposed to be titled The Babysitter Killer.
Which, FYI, that is brought up at one point. I have that written down. But
really?
Yes. Frank says it. Frank Hawkins.
Oh, nice. Killed a bunch of babysitters.
So what's the other scene?
So after that, then cut to Allison's in class, and Frankel's interpretation of fate is discussed in class. I just thought it was a nice touch to keep that through line going.
Yeah.
Forget this brother and sister bullshit. This is it.
Yeah.
Remember this. This is the essential part of the story. Fate. Yeah. Fate and fear.
Yeah.
And I loved that. That was great. Then Allison peeks out the window, sees Laurie, and they meet secretly.
Yeah, I mean, very much akin to the time where she looked out and saw, her grandmother looked out and saw Michael. Mm-hmm. It's all this is very much heavy homage to.
Yes, and keep in mind, music lightly dusted throughout, of a la the old, John Carpenter's original score. So good, so good.
So Laurie does give that $3,000 to Allison for.
I thought that was boss.
Yeah.
Because the podcasters were like, we have $3,000. Will you talk to us? And Laurie's like, yeah, what the fuck ever. Does it and just gives all the money to her granddaughter.
Yeah.
But I like that she says to her granddaughter, she gets her the $3K from the journalists, podcasters, and encourages her to travel and experience the world.
Because she never got to.
Right. Because she was too terrified. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Well, and then Allison has this pretty boss-ass line. It's just, say goodbye to Michael and get over it. Which I was like, girl.
You know what's funny? I wrote down the quote right before it.
What's that?
I seriously did. Because as Laurie's walking away, Allison is yelling at Laurie and saying, we never got to connect with you. We never had a life with you. Mm-hmm. What kind of life was there? Something akin to that. And then Laurie Strode turns around and says, if the way I raised your mother means that she hates me, but that she's prepared for the horrors of this world, then I can live with that. And right after that, Allison says...
Oh, it's really funny, because what's next? Because usually I do scene by scene, but I didn't.
There's
because I knew
a wee
so
little montage of Laurie fucking getting these mannequins and doing target practice in a part of her property, and I said, yes, get it, Laurie. Sarah Connor realness.
Yeah. She's a fucking badass. She's a badass.
She's so badass. And she's also doing a mental preparation
because she's getting ready because he's being transferred.
She knows Michael's big. That's something that the podcasters bring up. She knows exactly the day and the time.
We don't realize that Loomis wanted Loomis towards the end I think did, but if you watch the subsequent movies that this one negates, that he was trying to effectively kill him, but just from the first movie, he wants Michael dead. He wants him, he says, my suggestion is extermination. Death is the only solution. There is nothing to be gained from keeping him alive. A shot of sodium pentothal, whatever, would render him unconscious. I'll be with him to make sure his life is extinguished. My ear on his chest to hear for myself. That his vitals no longer function, and immediately incinerate the body. It has to die.
It.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not a person.
No.
Dr. Loomis was emphatic about this from the get. Mm-hmm. Like, among all of his patients, not this one. Mm-hmm. Not this guy. Mm-hmm. It has to die.
Yeah. I mean, to see that is... Because, we don't obviously see Loomis because he's passed away, but we do see this court sketch of him giving his deposition.
Oh, it was the podcasters. The podcasters were going through this data.
Okay. Again, I watched this at the beginning of the week, and a lot have happened since then.
And I just watched it 3 hours ago, so it's still fresh in my mind.
But to me, it just hit me like a load of bricks, because I was like, this is so different than the Loomis that we see at the beginning of 78.
Yeah. So much. It's so well written. So good.
Yeah.
Guess who comes to dinner?
Laurie Strode. She comes in a pounds of wine. I'm guessing this is shards at lunch wine, Laurie, that we get to see.
Well, because so Laurie shows up to dinner. Unfortunately, it kind of backfired on Laurie because she has just come from Michael's transfer. Yeah. And she's obviously upset. She brought a gun to when she was just sitting in her car watching the transfer, perhaps with the intention to shoot him.
Oh, she was. Mm-hmm. Yeah. 100%. Because a number of times in this movie she goes, I want to kill him. It's going to come down to him and me. So of course that's what she was wanting to do. She was planning to do. I think if anything had gone awry during the transfer, 100%, she would have shot him.
I'm surprised she didn't follow the bus. I thought that's what she was going to do. But then we wouldn't have our further plot point.
Yeah, we wouldn't have we wouldn't have a movie.
No, we would not. After the dinner, Laurie gets obviously very visibly upset and kind of, in essence, ruins the dinner, which I thought was kind of bullshit. But obviously, Allison was a little more empathetic, and for obvious reasons, Karen and her husband are not empathetic with Laurie anymore because they've had probably years of this bullshit, this kind of stuff. And this is when we find out. We cut back to the house. And this is when, or maybe it was still in the restaurant, I don't know. But this is where Karen finally opens up to Allison about her childhood with Laurie. Mm-hmm. And the backstory that Karen learned to shoot when she was 8. She's learned how to fight and was locked up in the basement for her own protection. Was living on this doomsday prepper lockdown with Laurie throughout her childhood, which for a kid is not... It's not awesome.
Best. Yeah.
It was best intentions, but again, it was strictly out of this paranoia and fear.
Well, we get this rando scene with Lumpy and his dad riding around this truck.
This poor kid.
Oh, this kid's adorable. Also, his name's Lumpy, which makes me think of the Star Wars Holiday Special. But he tells his dad, I really like doing this with you, like going out and fishing and everything, but you're taking me away from my dance class. I was like,
oh.
Fucking Billy Elliot, love you. I fucking love you. It was cute.
And the dad wasn't really a dick about it.
No, he wasn't. He's like, you really do like that, huh? Like, it was very much not like, it wasn't facetious.
Yeah, he wasn't like, you can't dance.
Yeah. I did write... Lumpy's got a gun.
Oh my god!
Because they come across this bus that is, on the side of the road. And there's a bunch of
people in white standing around everywhere.
Yeah. And Lumpy's dad's like, I'm going to go check. You stay here. And Lumpy's like, no, Dad, don't.
Yeah, seriously.
I'll be right back.
Can we
exactly.
And he tells the kid to call the police. I'm like, can you just do that from your car? From the safety of the inside of your car?
And then just back up. Just back up. Don't even. This is Haddonfield, FYI, guys. Come on. Right. Shit like that happens. I think everybody in town should have known that this asshole was coming into town, was being transferred. Right. I think everybody in Haddonfield should have known. It should have been like a, general, like, notification went out and was like, FYI, this murderous asshole is going to be transferred. You possibly should maybe have your guns at the ready in case something horrible happens. But Lumpy comes up to a prison guard who is he's
mostly dead, but not quite.
Mostly dead, but he's yelling at Lumpy to run. And and so poor Lumpy ignores that, goes into the bus, and something moves, and so he shoots, and he accidentally shoots Loomis 2.0, Dr. Sartain. And he freaks out because he's shot somebody.
Right.
So he runs back to the truck, gets in, starts to, like, he's going to drive at this point. So he starts the car, but unfortunately...
Oh, this broke my heart. He killed a kid.
Yeah, Michael's in the back seat.
Right off the get.
He strangles him, then breaks his neck.
Which is kind of his MO, in all fairness.
Yeah. Which
I also, not the kid, obviously, but, like, I sort of appreciated that. They brought Michael back to the roots, right? Just end. He just wanted to kill things. Mm-hmm. He wasn't all about, he was about brute strength and just ending you the quickest, most efficient way possible. His artistry happened usually after death, where he would place bodies.
Yeah.
He's
like, I'm an artiste.
C'est magnifique.
C'est magnifique. Le poison. This is where we get the babysitter murders, because in walks Frank Hawkins, played by Will Patton. Actually, no. This Hawkins arrives at the scene first, and then we get title card of 1031, and then we get the podcasters visiting Judith's grave, and we have a flashback.
And they recall how she died. And
which is the original, they just use the original footage from...
Footage, right.
70,
and right, they use the original footage, but they talk over it, like, throughout. Like, we see the footage, but they're still talking. And there's Michael off in the distance to get his mask back, perhaps, ? I wrote. Michael had first stabbed Judith at the base of her neck, scraping the spinal cord. And when she turned, he continued stabbing her palm, sternum, and finally her heart.
Yep.
That was never, in any of the movies, was not detailed.
No.
And I was
not even zombies
about that. Right.
Yeah.
There was not much detail in Rob Zombies. I wrote, oh shit. Michael followed the podcasters to a gas station / car shop, stops for a quick costume change. Why? And goes after the female in the bathroom. He quickly dispatches them both and rather quickly retrieves his mask.
Well, I got a question about that. So first, I want to say the station set is an exact replica of Halloween 4.
Yes.
Down to even the ice chest on the side of the building.
Wow.
We don't see Aaron actually die. We see him go unconscious, but we don't see Aaron actually be like die.
You do see him zipped up in a body bag. It's like for a split second. Because, he's off in that corner and he's like, ugh, he passes out.
Yeah.
And then Michael kills the girl.
It wasn't Dana. It was Aaron.
It was Aaron.
Okay.
Not 100%, but I was pretty sure it was him. Because I thought I saw facial hair.
Because it didn't seem like it was it was brutal, but it didn't seem like enough to kill him.
I'll have to look back. I still have it because I rented it. Yay!
How about that? The jaw, the gas attendants.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then when he oh my God. So they kind of like, because Aaron is pumping gas and Chicky has to go to the bathroom, and they, and then she sees like strange feet, and she's like, hello, and he's like, shaking her stall door, and she's like, occupado, sorry, not in those words, but. And then cut to Aaron, who's going into like pay or do something, and the gas attendant is like, it reminds me of like, it's akin to like American History X, where like
curb stomp.
His fucking jaw is like, and then cut to the bathroom where Michael is with this chick, and he reaches over the stall door and drops teeth like they're fucking coins.
Yup.
Down at her feet. Oh
yeah, like those candy corn. Yeah,
candy corns. Same thing will happen to your teeth if you eat those.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was
good. It was real good.
It's so good. So they die. I think he gets his mask. Lori sees this on the news. I don't know if she recognized that it was the podcasters or not.
I don't think so.
But she saw that. She saw the bus crash.
Yes.
She saw that the bus crash was on the news, and she's like,
"This is when she
loses her shit, goes on full on lockdown, goes straight to her daughter's house to warn them, but is of course quickly ignored and turned away."
So this is also where we learn that she has a secret basement with a entrance under her kitchen sink or kitchen island.
A little island. I love that, and I kind of want one. I'm not gonna lie.
So then, so she goes to Karen's house, and Karen and Ray both are like, "Get the fuck out!
Right,
we're done with your shit." And
which is equally like frustrating and sad, and yet, can you really blame them? I mean, yes, you can, but
and Lori also says, I believe it's Lori who says, "There's a reason we're supposed to be afraid of this night."
No, I did write that down. It was Hawkins who said it.
Was it Hawkins who said that? Okay, I just wrote it down. I was like,
Hawkins.
"What the fuck?"
I thought that was a great quote. There's a reason we're supposed to be afraid of this night.
Yeah.
Oh, so well written. Mwah.
So we now start to. It is like fucking Halloween. So they're trick or treating. He's just
he's having a ball.
Around. He's having a ball. The best was the kids that bump into him, and one kid goes, "Hey, sorry, man. Oh, it was okay."
I know. It's like,
sorry about that, man. A little kid. He's just kind of like, okay. But guess what's coming up? We got ham sandwich lady.
I know. I wrote that down.
However, this ham sandwich lady doesn't make it, unfortunately.
No. So he kills poor ham sandwich with a hammer just to get the knife.
But did you notice? Okay, so I had the closed captioning on because I can't hear.
Me too.
Closed captioning as he's walking. So ham sandwich lady has a baby. The baby's cradle's right in the front window. I'm like, that's weird. But the baby,
it says, to lose my shit.
I wonder if you have the same note. When he walks past the cradle, it says baby calms. Yeah. I thought that was wild. It was a really good reference. It was actually like, to me, it was a reference to
fascinating
other Halloweens that are not,
as good.
Well, yes. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. It said baby because it did like the sound because it was crying, and then it did calm. It did
it
quiet.
Stopped. And it's like, and people always theorize that babies and kids seem to have some kind of sixth sense.
Yeah.
At times.
Do you think that him seeing that sexy nurse started the fuel for rage? Because as soon as he saw the sexy nurse getting in the car, then he's like, I gotta fucking kill somebody now. Because then he kills that poor lady in her house, just like chilling and giving out candy.
No.
Oh no, he killed ham sandwich lady before. Never mind.
Yeah, no. This is just how he gets around. He's just killing at random.
Yeah, I think he was pissed off he couldn't kill sexy nurse though.
Well, I would be, but.
He kills a sexy nurse in the next one, though.
Yes, he does. So he's going on this killing spree and just killing people at random. But that, to me, is supposed to be Michael Myers. It has nothing to do, and it furthers their theory and storyline that it has nothing to do with Lori. Lori was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
So does the lady that he stabs in the neck.
Yeah.
But that neck stab was fucking amazing. Oh my god, I know! Yeah. Poor lady. Just beautiful house.
I know, right? These people, holy shit. And she was warned, the poor thing.
Yeah, she
She
got
had
off the phone.
just been warned. Like, lock your doors, hide your kids, hide your wife.
This is where we go into the dance,
Allison's, yes. Yeah.
So they're
Kind of go
dressed.
back and
Allison
forth between
yeah.
the high school party and Allison's friend's babysitting.
Vicky. Yeah.
Vicky.
So Cameron and Allie are dressed as Bonnie and Clyde, however, gender
Sex
reversal.
role, gender reversal. Which I
cute.
winked at that. All right.
It was cute.
I dig it. I'm into it.
Yeah. And not much to be said here. I mean, Cameron starts drinking, and I don't know if this happens right away, but I can't remember. But he kind of he kisses another girl.
Yep.
And Allie gets obviously upset about it, rightfully so.
Right.
And he's pretty much
sees that she sees it and goes to her and
has the shittiest response.
Cameron, gaslighting piece of shit. I don't know what you think you saw. Next. And then he has the audacity to throw her phone in a pudding. This is Lori calling her to warn her. Mm-hmm. Fucking idiot. That is some banging high school party.
Well, it's at the high school.
I know. That party is fucking banging.
Well, Haddonfield's not big. They probably wanted him to be there instead of going out and having a party and getting drunk and driving, probably. That's probably the thought.
Okay. Well, who is that fucking DJ? Woo!
Hey, man.
Could have been another high schooler.
We had already had a swinging party in the last Halloween movie we watched.
Don't give me
less
a
tits.
beer.
100% less tits in this one.
100. Full on.
We move on to my two favorite people in this whole fucking movie.
So Alice, right before all that happened, Allison's friend is babysitting and asks Allison and Cameron, before he's a piece of shit, to come over after the party. The kid she's babysitting is the amazing, most effing best kid ever.
And he and Vicky are they are so good together.
Oh, they have this cute banter.
They do. It's we talked about this.
Because she talks to him like an adult.
And I think the one thing that we liked about 2007 Halloween was we liked Lori and the kids together because they had a good chemistry. Yeah. And 100% here. In fact, this is what I wrote down because Julian is sitting there listening to her tell Lori, or sorry, what the hell? Allison, that what's happening, that they're gonna get, what was it? They're gonna get abracadabra.
Alakazam.
No, it wasn't Alakazam.
Wasn't it Alakazam? Abracadabra.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I thought it was Alakazam.
I don't remember. It says.
And he's like, bitch.
I know you're gonna get. I know you're gonna smoke weed.
Right. Like I'm not stupid.
And he's like, giving her shit for it, and he's like, she says, you're like my 10th favorite boy I nanny, and I babysit some fucking losers. If I had some other kind of, then he says, if I had some other kind of babysitter, she'd be reading me a story. I wouldn't be clipping my nasty ass nails. Because he's sitting there clipping his toenails. It is the funniest thing. He gives her so much sass. It's so funny.
I hope he gets a million jobs after
me
this.
too.
He's so cute.
And my next line is just, someone can kill Cameron already, please.
Oh my God, seriously. I was over him immediately. So they pan back. Vicky's little boyfriend comes over, Dave, who's not a garbage person. He's not a piece of shit.
No, but did you notice when he comes over, there's all a bunch of laundry hanging in the backyard?
Yes.
Very much an homage to
There were
78.
so many callbacks. Oh, it was delicious. So she sent, Vicky sends Julian to bed, and she and Dave are making out, and he was like, I don't know, he said something, and she's like, I'm gonna dry fuck you so bad.
Because he got a tattoo of 10/31/2018 on his arm.
Sad, which we do see later, which
so
is very sad.
They do, they start to have sex, and they hear something, because it's
kid
Michael
hears
Myers.
something, gets up, and he's running, halfway downstairs.
First,
Or
she
he
hears
sees
something.
someone.
Well, first she hears something as they're
you're
making
right.
out, and she's like, "Can you go check it out?" And he's like, "Do I have to?" I said, "What a knight in shining armor."
I know.
But she does. She gets up, and that's when she runs
like,
into
"All right,
Julian.
I'm
Julian's
babysitting."
freaking out.
Yeah. And then I quoted him. Because Vicky's like, all right, you heard something, like, you saw somebody? Okay, yeah, let's go check it out. I'll go first. And he's like, and he looks at Dave, and he's like, send Dave first.
Yes!
Smart fucking kid.
He's like, the best is when it... okay, this is later when they find out it is Michael in the house. But yeah, send Dave up.
It's so good.
Yeah. But
There
then
he is in the closet to kill the babysitter.
But Dave's in the garage playing with the motorcycle, and it falls over, and that's when I went, "Why do the men in these movies suck so much?"
They all do.
Yeah.
They all do.
But poor Dave does make the right decision at some point.
Yes, he does, and because he hears
he
that
hears
the
Vicky
calls for
scream.
help and Vicky screaming. He attempts to go up, but unfortunately, he doesn't make it.
Well, so Julian comes running down the stairs. And he goes, "Oh shit!" Well, actually, he sees. It's not funny.
He
but
sees Dave. Yeah.
No, he sees Vicky getting pulled into the room by Michael Myers.
yeah.
He goes, "Oh shit!" And he goes running down the stairs and runs to Dave. He goes, "Don't go up there. You're gonna get killed, Dave."
I know.
Oh, fucking Julian, you're the
That
best.
kid.
So, the police have then gotten a domestic disturbance
At that house because
at
they
that
hear all
point,
the
yeah.
screaming and everything. Thank you,
Right.
neighbors.
So
Because
the
these
police-
houses are so close together, and that always drove me crazy in the other films. How like, tell me you wouldn't hear that.
right,
Tell me.
right.
Meantime, Laurie is driving madly around to find Michael, and is also listening to the police radio.
And
Here's the same call Hawkins gets to the house for a domestic disturbance, and Laurie follows shortly thereafter and shouts at people to get in their houses.
Then we find Hawkins gets to the house, and Michael Myers has positioned Vicky under a sheet like Linda's death in 78. So it looks like Red Brad when he comes in as Brad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As so bad.
Poor Dave gets killed off screen, but we know it's him because he's been killed like Brad. He's been knifed into
But the
a
other
wall.
way. So his face was like against the wall, like flat against the wall, and you see his tattoo of the day he died. Creepy.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't remember what this was. I said, yeah, get him, Laurie. I think she sees him at some point, maybe. And then Laurie meets the new doctor. Laurie insists on helping to kill Michael.
Yeah, she at one point they do get a hold of Allison because she yells at Allison to do as I say, and I wrote that down because I knew
me
you
too.
would write it down.
Oh yeah, I was getting there. Laurie goes with police to her daughter's house, who's awesomely wearing a Christmas sweater on Halloween.
Yeah,
That did not go unnoticed by me.
yeah. No, a lot of people notice that because they're like, "Is this a Christmas movie now?"
Right.
I don't understand why she had a Christmas sweater on, but you know,
I don't either, but it doesn't matter. It brings me joy. So Laurie goes with police to her daughter's house to get them and take them and Allison to safety, but no one knows where Allison is. I wrote, the script is so good, quote, do as I say. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't end there. It's so good.
No, but this is when Allison is walking away with Oscar, walking home. Yeah.
I like the way this is written, though, Allison's interaction with her friend, because at first he's like, you can do better than that, and he's like encouraging and sweet. But meanwhile, lest we forget, he's still a little hammered too. And so eventually he tries to make a move.
Well, yeah, and then he feels bad about it. And
He does. He legit does. But I'm like, amen, Allison, no excuses.
He has the line, they were feeding me guacamole in all kinds of sexy ways. That made me laugh. So Weed was the cool one and found it. I had deleted it off my phone. So go ahead and play it for our loving audience.
All right, this is what he's not quite dead. He's about to be dead. she sees him. Wait for it.
And this happens a couple other times, and it is the perfect.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, because that sound continues on.
It's so well done.
Mm-hmm. And it's the heartbeat sound, like the thumping of the bass, and the blood dripping off of his shoe, and that fucking guitar riff comes in. Holy shit, is that awesome! I actually rewound it a number of times just to watch that, just because it gave me chills.
Yeah.
So
good
on you, DGG.
Good on you. Good on you. Next. She runs around. I don't remember how the doctor and the cop find her.
So what happens is she ends up getting into a house. Somebody does open the door for her. We don't see it. Oh, right.
She pounds on somebody's door.
She's sitting on the front step, and Hawkins comes to get her, and they take her. And this is where, and so this is where we get this line from Laurie that says, he's waited for this night. He waited for me. I waited for him. Again, Laurie obviously doesn't know that that's not really the truth, but
right, she doesn't know.
She doesn't know.
Cutting back to Allison in the car with
Sartan and Hawkins.
Dr. Sartan and Hawkins. They come across. Oh, I loved this, and again, somewhat of a wink at the other movies where people have tried to run him the fuck over with a car and like bum rush him with a vehicle. Miss Hawkins is like, hang on, and he revs the engine, sees Michael, and tries to run him the fuck over.
Yeah, I mean, I just wrote run his ass over.
Run his
ass. But
Michael's on the ground.
Yep.
They approach him, and then what?
Then we get the Scooby-Doo reveal.
Yes, we do. We do get Scooby-Doo. We get Scooby-Dooed by the doctor. Yep. Doctor kills Hawkins.
We think he does. Mm-hmm.
We mortally injures Hawkins and takes Michael's mask and takes Michael to the car while Michael's still like recuperating right next to Allison, by the way, which sucks.
Yeah. Because they're in the back of a cop car, mind you, where you can't get out.
Yep. Right.
Then he runs Hawkins over.
Just the little side, just the left side. Because he's not really. He doesn't
Guess
care.
Like he's running anywhere.
And then he starts to monologue at Allison, saying that he intends to unite Michael and Laurie, theorizing that his pursuit of glory is of Laurie. Sorry, I was text stuck. That Michael's pursuit of Laurie is specifically what keeps him alive. Predictably, Michael wakes up and kills the doctor. Fucking idiot. Speaking of idiots.
Thinking we get these cute officers in this car talking about lunch.
I wasn't talking about them, but they are adorable.
Yeah, and it's definitely an homage to the officers from Halloween 5.
In 5.
Yeah. But the one time about banh mi sandwiches, I was like, God, I'm getting hungry. God damn.
I know, right? It's a Taco Bell. So, no, I wrote, speaking of idiots, Allison decides to get out of the car and run away rather than shutting the car door and driving the police car up to Laurie's house. But whatever, I guess she's not really aware of where she is. Right. And is now running around Laurie's possibly booby-trapped property aimlessly.
Yeah.
And that's how I stopped for a while.
Yeah.
Until we get to Laurie's house.
Yeah, I don't have a ton of notes.
But
he does stomp
those cops.
Oh, okay. Well, he talk about curb stomp. He stomps Sartan's head when he does kill him.
Yeah. And Sartan is all he wants. He's got a boner, just to hear Michael talk. He wants to hear Michael talk. He wants to be the one to hear him talk. And it's like, fuck yourself, dude.
The cute cops are sitting there like going, "That's weird that there's this random police car off the side of the road, like a little far ahead."
And they're trying to call to him, through radio.
They think it's Hawkins,
right?
Yeah,
they know it's Hawkins' car.
Yeah, they're like, okay, so we don't right away find out what happens when they approach the vehicle, but we find them after,
and they get a little mana lantern.
We do get a head a head of lantern. The poor, one of the well, that's when Ray goes out to the car. So first, Karen figures out that Lori wants Michael to come to the house. That this whole house has been one large trap. That's what this is. She figures it out. I don't think she would have had the wherewithal at 12 to realize what was happening, but that's what this whole thing is.
That's why it's so high security and high fortress. It's not just to keep others out; it's to keep in.
Yep. But this is when Ray gets it, unfortunately, because there's a cop car.
Was cannon fodder.
Yeah, he was a red shirt. Yeah,
he was a red shirt. Pew pew.
But he sees a car, like a police officer, pull up in the front yard.
Right.
And he thinks that they're bringing Allison
in. Right.
Yeah. And
at least they made it logical.
Yeah.
But he still walks out of the house.
Yeah. How does he die? Please strangle him.
I don't know.
I don't remember. All I know is his body's taken and hidden somewhere in the house.
Right. As he does.
So I just wrote, this house is baller.
It's so fucking baller. Go, Lori. Go, Lori, go. Sarah Connor realness. You get it, girl.
So we've got Lori and Karen kind of like hiding in the basement until like Michael gets in the house, and once he's in the house, they can hear him walking around, and they're shooting up through the floor at him.
Oh my god. Okay, so first Michael bursts through the door when Lori is right at the door.
Oh, it keeps slamming her head against the door.
And it keeps slamming, and I was like, no, not Lori.
But then she shoots his fucking fingers off.
She shoots his fingers off. So then he's got like half a shocker left. He's just...
Oh, gross.
Lori, why would you shoot up at him through the very thin floorboards where he will obviously know where you are and try to get to you, and now you've just shown him how to get downstairs.
I think there's a reason for that.
Oh, and which I did not realize at the time. And then I wrote in all caps, does no other style of closet door exist?
I write this kept writing, the closets! The closets!
What is with the closets?
Closets again. I wrote...
They're all the foldable, like...
Yeah.
Slotted wood, whatever it's called.
Because this is where Lori decides to face him.
Oh, yeah.
Really what she's trying to do is lure him down to the basement.
Which I didn't realize. I honestly didn't.
Yeah. I wrote,
Lori
this is
disappears.
Tense.
Right.
Yeah, this is fucking tense.
It's so good. It was on the edge of my seat. By the by, I'm trying to recall when it was starting to... Oh, it was. It was during this part. Lori is like looking around the house with a shotgun trying to find Michael.
Right.
And I was at this point where I decided I was having such a good time and I realized it. And so I turned off my lights and started to watch the rest because I was just enjoying it so fucking much.
Oh, it's so tense. It's so great. I mean, because you have to think too, like he's missing fingers. I mean, he is a human, so he is bleeding.
Right.
So
she's kind of trying to follow the blood trail a little bit throughout the house.
In each room she's gone into, she checks it for him, and then she has this panel outside the door where she slams her hand on it, and it brings down like a cage, almost like a barred door.
Locking this room up.
Yeah.
He's not here. Lock it up. So he can't
get out,
or
go in, or hide,
or go
in
for respite. For respite. Thanks, Veronica. Allison shows up, and Karen tries to get her downstairs. And now Michael is trying to get down as well.
Yeah, he's trying to rip up. Well, first he gets Lori out the window.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah, he gets Lori out the window and she falls a story down. And
I thought I had a note about that. I guess.
No, because...
that's what that meant. I wrote, Lori disappears. Oh my god, that was so satisfying. That was in reference to that.
I wrote, how do you like it, bitch?
Right?
Yeah.
Because he pushes her out the window and she falls off.
It's very reminiscent of 78.
Of the first one, where like you see her on the ground, he sees her there, turns around for something. Because he can hear
the girls. Because Allie came in the house.
Yeah. Turns back to look outside, and Lori is gone. And the music cut, like, and then they play the music, the same
Yep.
music that they play. Oh, it was so
Yep.
good. So
How
so
do
good.
you like it, bitch?
Bitch.
Then Karen does the most fucking baller thing in this
The
movie.
most.
So she goes and she sees
I believed her. She's such a good actress.
Oh, I know.
That she was losing it because she's like, "Oh my mom, I can't do it. I can't do it." Because she's like,
well, she goes and picks
shotgun.
up her gun with her name on it.
yeah.
That has it's been carved with her name in it. Because FYI, Lori's got this fucking ammunition shed in the basement, full of guns, and like she actually talks about what her favorite one is, and so Karen pulls it out, and what does she say? She's like, do what you were saying.
Oh no, she's like, she's pointing the shotgun upstairs, and it's like, doesn't quite see Michael yet, and she's like, I just don't, Mom, I can't do it. Mom, where are you? I can't do it.
Because he's pulling the island off of its track.
He had done it already.
To the basement. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't started walking down yet, and she doesn't see him, but she's got the gun pointed up, and she's like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Then he shows up after she's like, I can't do it. And she points it right at him. And she says, Gotcha.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And she so baller. So baller.
I was like, why didn't they fucking shoot him a number of times at this point? Because they get upstairs. They get not all of them get upstairs because he grabs Karen's leg as they're getting up. And
this is so good.
And then Allie gets a shot, like she stabs him, and he falls into the basement, which is a trap. The metal,
right? Because there's a time a few minutes earlier where Allison is starting to freak out with Karen, and she's like, "It's a cage. I don't, it feels like a cage in this." Because she's realizing this was her mom's room basically, and she's like, "Grandma kept you in a cage. Nay. This is a trap for him." And Mom was bait, which isn't much better, but so, but they like, and they hit this button once Michael is there, and these bars come up over that opening, trapping him in. And then they hit another button or two, and all these gas lines start going.
Yeah, there's torches like off of the walls, built in from the walls, that light, like they ignite all throughout the house. I mean, at this point, this is what this was for. Yep, this was the purpose of this house. So the ladies get out and they make it to the
and Karen says it's not a cage, baby, it's a trap.
Yeah,
and that's what me.
Yeah,
so good.
And they get a ride into town because at this point, also Lori's been stabbed.
Oh yeah,
Michael has gotten one shot
injured.
off of him. Yeah, she's stabbed in the abdomen, and so they get a truck pulls over and they get in, and that's the end of Halloween 2018. Okay, let's do some ratings here.
Oh, so good. Blood droplets, blood and gore.
It was. I'm gonna say 3.
Same.
It was like, in the middle of the road. I mean, there were some fucking amazing kills in this.
Oh
one.
yeah,
I feel it.
Particularly the man of lantern really got me. That was good.
The the knife through the neck was.
Oh,
fuck me! And the jaw. The jaw was.
We
didn't see that one. Yeah.
No, we didn't have to see it.
No.
Just the destruction of these bodies were just. Oh,
I just realized my notes for this next one are a fucking mess. Anyhow,
mine aren't too, but I was trying to watch it in a rush. Skellies, some skulls, spooky / scary.
Oh god, 4.
Me too.
Yeah, this is scary.
It was legit. They brought back that feeling from 1.
Yeah,
they brought that feeling back.
Yeah,
the suspense and terror. So, well done. Sex and romance. Pick your
0.
fruit. Yeah, me too. Well, I mean, there was reference to the kids made out on the couch, but there was no sex in this at all. No boobs, nothing. Mm-mm. And finally, last but not least, Black Hearts, Cold Black Hearts, fun entertainment. Did you have a good time?
I had a good time, but it's okay. I'm gonna say 4 on this one, because this next one, it's not as fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I shouldn't say I had fun because I mean it's. I mean, you know what?
Were you entertained? Were you entertained by it overall?
Yes, 4 because I like the references to the original. Yeah.
Oh, so many. Mm-hmm. And I wrote them all down, and it made. Oh, I love shouting at the TV sometimes. But I like being really into that. I wrote 5 because I was into it. It was so well done.
And she's into it. She's into it. Yeah, I mean, there's other other movies that I've been more entertained by. So that's kind of like I was like, I'm not entertained by it. There's entertainment in being scared. So I guess, but yeah, coolio. Well, let's take a break, and we'll come back and we'll watch. Or what we'll watch. We'll talk about the second. We've already watched it. Some of us more recent than others.
2 hours ago.
And we'll talk about the next one. How about that? Awesome.
Do it. And we're back.
We're back, bitches. Guess what I did actually this week? Just because I had to. I had to listen to this Ghostbusters 2 soundtrack.
Oh, God,
just so that I
knew you were gonna make it up.
Just so I knew what that fucking song was. That every time we say we're back, it's called We're Back.
Well, yeah.
And we're back to fight the evil. You will never place us. We're back. Yeah. So that's what's in my head every fucking time we say that. So. FYI, it's enjoyable. Oingo Boingo's on it. It's great. Come on, guys.
How could you not love it?
Bobby Brown's on it. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, God.
Spotify. It's on Spotify. Okay, guys. We're going to now talk about a very new film.
Yay! We're doing a new film!
We are! So, Halloween Kills 2021 and...
The penultimate...
Yes, for right now until next Halloween, when Halloween Ends comes out. But FYI, if you have Peacock, this is the last weekend you can watch it on Peacock. Otherwise, it moves somewhere else, and you will have to pay for it. The only good thing I have to say is, from what I understand, there's an alternate ending, and that will be So it might be worth it to rent it after it moves to see the alternate ending. I don't know what it is. We have a lot of Donald Pleasance in this movie.
Now, here's what I'm wondering. Obviously, somebody dubbed his voice. Obviously. Mm-hmm. And I made a note later on, like, is that old footage or holographic Loomis?
It's probably CGI. They probably went to Tarkentown on that one.
Yeah.
Because it's
it's a la Star Wars,
right? Like Carrie Fisher or Tarkin. Yeah. It looked good. I mean, I didn't
really
hate it.
Good.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
I was convinced.
Yeah. Real quick before we start, I did not give Rotten Tomatoes for Halloween 2018, but it was 79%, so pretty good for Rotten Tomatoes.
That's pretty darn good. Yeah.
This one, however,
I think it's not so much, but
it's 41%.
I don't care.
There's a lot of hate going on.
They can suck my dick.
Yep.
Suck my itty bitty tiny
micropene.
Micropenis.
Ween's micropene.
Halloween Kills.
This is the same night, guys. As it's
yes,
literally...
a la tradition.
Yes,
it's the very same night.
Oh, one note I do have. Speaking of my mother, this was filmed in Wilmington, North Carolina. So that's where my parents live, and my aunt and uncle live, and that's where I want to at some point live. I've tried to a number of occasions, but yes,
you cannot leave me though. That's not allowed.
We can, yes, I know, because I love you. I said, of course we open on shitty Cameron. Of course
I wrote the same thing.
Of course
we opened with Cameron Perrin's dumbass.
Yeah.
Attempting to stabilize Hawkins, who has a flashback to Halloween, 1978.
And he was the officer that was responding, like the main responding officer to Lori, when Lori was taken to the hospital after after Michael yeets him, so gets yeeted out the window, and disappears. But then we find out what Michael did after he did disappear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we find out here is where he's going home, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm trying to read my notes, which are not good. So we've got Pete. I don't remember what Pete is. It McCabe?
Pete McCabe. You're right.
Pete McCabe, and
Frank Hawkins. Frank being a rookie cop.
Yep. And they're going.
They're going to the Myers house.
Yep.
Where McCabe starts to monologue about how he and Michael are the same age, and when they were real little, they went to school together, and his mother would make him go play together. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, so he kind of knew Michael.
We have this flashback is also, it's really weird. This flashback is also in tandem, like going back and forth between Lonnie's flashback.
Yes.
Where he reads the Mulaney's, which I just wrote, the Mulaney's seem nice. Oh no, I wrote the Mulaney's seem fun. Because they just seem like trashy, like inbready, sort of like gross.
Yeah. Yucks. Can you remind me who the Mulaney's are? I don't.
There's those kids.
I know that.
I don't think
but were they anybody important later? Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, they're pieces of garbage kids.
Yeah, yeah. No, unless they were the ones who were picking on Tommy in the first one. It could be. I don't know.
Very well could have been.
I don't remember girls.
Oh no, wasn't it though? Wasn't Lonnie one of those kids that was picking on Tommy Doyle? Because that's why the Mulaney's were picking on Lonnie.
Probably then. There must be the Mulaney's then. I don't know, but this hair on the one looks like he looks like Yahoo Serious.
Yeah.
And most of our listenership doesn't know who Serious is. But.
The boy reminded me of, what is his name from A Christmas Story? Brett Farkas.
Scott Farkas.
Scott Farkas. His eyes were yellow.
Nice.
He had yellow eyes. So help me. He had yellow eyes.
That guy grew up to be hot, though.
Nasty. Did he?
Mm-hmm.
During the flashback, which I appreciated. Did you notice the mask was clean white?
Oh, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because this was the first white.
Yes.
Because this is the first night.
So, unfortunately, Pete is like pretty much relaying this all to Hawkins about playing and looking out the window. He's actually they're in the Myers house.
Repeating himself too. I tend to delight.
Pete is looking out the window. Right. Pete Repeater is looking out the window of Judith's room, talking about how he would just catch Michael just staring out the window at numerous times. And so, unfortunately, it's almost like it takes it down and it's quiet for a second.
Yeah.
And then there's Michael jumps out and has a stranglehold on Pete. And so it's that hostage negotiation sort of stranglehold where...
And Rookie Cop is doing his best. Like,
yeah,
hey,
Hawkins got to make a decision.
I'm going to shoot you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, still strangling Pete, poor Pete. And Pete is like, fucking shoot him. Unfortunately, Rookie Cop, nervous, maybe
I don't know if any of us could have made that shot.
No, I don't think any. Right.
No. It was a bad situation. It was not going
right.
to...
Michael was barely just behind and actively strangling. Like, nobody could have made that shot, dude.
Honestly, he should have aimed for Michael's legs.
Yeah, he should have.
Because at least that might have... Yeah.
Or his hip or stomach, something to... But whatever. In the heat of the moment...
Mm-hmm.
Right. In the heat of the moment, he was scared.
Yeah.
He ends up, unfortunately, shooting Pete in the neck. Right in the jugs.
Yeah, he bleeds out quite quickly, but enough time that Michael runs away.
And they've got their backup already outside the house where Dr. Loomis is with the cops. And he hears Dr. Loomis's voice as he's trying to help Pete. And Pete is dying. And Pete is saying, or is this later?
No,
there were two times we did the flashbacks.
This is, yeah.
And he was like, did we get him? Did we get him? Like...
I can't remember.
I don't
because they're I mean, it's the same thing over again. So you're trying to like figure out which is which. I wrote M runs away, MM stopped in front yard. So I don't think so. I think this is just the end of the
that flashback.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking to see my notes if I have it somewhere else. But yeah, I mean, we can talk about it now, and then we don't have to talk about it later. Is that Pete does ask and does say, "Did we get him?" And Hawkins lies.
I was like he knows because he knows
he's dying.
He knows he's dying, but did we get him?
Yeah.
Like, at least give him that.
Yeah.
And that poor thing. It's horrible.
So we end the flashback here.
And then we cut to, is that where we cut to Lori and company in the back of the truck riding to the hospital?
Yes. Because, well, we've...
Devastating.
Well, first, don't we have the...
oh, no, they go to the bar.
The bar. Because
we're at the bar.
Tommy Doyle serves... Okay, so yeah. So it's the nurse and doctor that we talked about in the first one where I didn't know who the fuck that was.
Yes. And it's so cute, which I think, like... I thought this was adorable, and I feel like people actually do this, where the girl in the couple, she's the doctor, but she dresses as a sexy nurse, and her boyfriend, husband is a nurse, but dresses as a doctor.
I didn't catch that. Oh, I like
so
it.
Cute.
They're just cute couple. Like she's almost like, you gonna take that shit for them because like these four show up.
Yeah.
I mean it's the guy did not play Lonnie. I don't know. It's just they just happen to be like, well, obviously, Anthony Michael Hall didn't play Tommy Doyle, so but you have Lonnie Elam, get your ass away from there, Lonnie.
Yeah.
You've got Marion Chambers.
Marion Chambers, who was Nurse Chambers to Dr. Loomis.
You have Lindsay and Kyle
Wallace.
Richards, right?
Yeah.
Kyle Richards. And then you have Anthony Michael Hall is playing Tommy Doyle. Anywho, so then we go over to we get to the truck.
The truck with Lori, and Karen and Allison are desperately trying to keep Lori's stomach together as she's like bleeding out, and this Good Samaritan is driving them to the hospital, and then they see fire trucks passing them, and Lori's freaking the fuck out because she knows they're going to her house.
She says, "Let it burn."
Let it burn,
which is a reference to Halloween 4.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It's a Loomis line.
Is it?
Yep. In the opening of the film,
this is why you do this.
Laurie screams to the fire trucks to let it burn as they head towards her house. This is based on a deleted scene from Halloween 4, where a flashback to the end of Halloween 2 shows Dr. Loomis pleading with paramedics to let him burn after blowing up the operating room.
Yeah.
So,
sad day.
Then we
and
get
those
to
poor
this
firefighters.
Fuck me to this scene. Holy shit.
This shit show. Woo. Oh my goodness.
So, from what...
The poor firefighters get to Lori's house and they are doing their good ass job.
Mm-hmm. So, all I knew going into this movie was that what was left out, or what was kind of tamed down in the first one, was ramped up to 11 with gore in this one, and fuck me, was.
It absolutely was. Shit. Holy shit.
I mean, literally a person gets sawed in half.
Yeah.
I haven't seen someone get sawed in half since Frightener.
Saw? I'm just kidding.
No, since
Frighteners.
No, not Frighteners. There's a movie called, I think it's called Frightener. I'm gonna look it up. Keep talking.
Yeah. But these firefighters have all these tools, right? First, what happens is a firefighter goes into the house and he falls through into the trap from weakened wood, from that, trap door or whatever. He
Terrifier, sorry.
And he's choking because, his breathing equipment's been compromised. Mm-hmm. Then you see one of those security doors open from floor to ceiling, and out steps Michael, which explains the smoke inhalation or lack of it, I guess.
But he's just standing in the corner like, fire. Yeah. I'm like, how the fuck are you alive?
That's what I want to know. But did you see he came out of that thing?
Oh, but we got a bigger
Yeah, I
how
know.
the fuck are you alive later?
How the fuck are you breathing? And that guy's struggling.
FYI, the movie's called Terrifier. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's so fucking messed up. Like, it gave me nightmares.
Ugh.
And that's saying something. 2018. It's a clown horror movie.
Oh, nope.
Someone gets sawed in half from the vagina.
No! Thank you.
Yup.
I'm good.
Okay. So
Michael grabs a fire poker. Very sadly ironic.
It's a pick. It's a
pick.
It's a fire axe.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And he kills that guy and slowly kills his way out of the house, and out front is standing a whole fire crew left.
And they're just like,
people.
they're like, holy fuck, it's him. I think they
know
all realize
exactly who the fuck it is.
That poor woman with the hose. I was like, oh, you ain't gonna do shit with that hose. Because she.
That's what I don't understand. Like, the woman, so they're all looking at him like, we can probably fucking take him. 2 of the firefighters have axes. One of them has a chainsaw, right? This is typical equipment that firefighters have. And the other,
I think that's actually the jaws of life. Isn't that the jaws of life?
Yeah, no, you're right. Right, to try to save somebody if somebody's, struggling
or because it cut through a beam and stuff like that, yeah.
And bones. And humans easily. So this woman,
obviously, yeah.
And this woman has a fire hose, and she's pointing it at him, and he just keeps walking toward her. I'd like to call bullshit. First of all, on that,
it's. I mean, I hate to
do
say
you
this,
know how far back that can push you? How
right. If you've seen any pictures of or video
the civil rights movement,
I would say, or protesters, of people being hosed by protest. Yeah. It'll throw you, but I mean, maybe they just didn't have good water pressure. Well, that's also, here's the other thing. That's also coming off of, that's also coming off of like a, what are those? My brain tonight. The actual hydrants. This was coming off the truck, so it's not going to be as strong.
Okay, so it wasn't as strong. Okay, all right. And he is fucking strong. I get it.
He's fucking supernatural. Whatever.
So right. So they all make their attempts, but Michael just absolutely obliterates them and destroys these people. It's a horror show out front. And Michael emerges and walks the fuck on. Cut to, we get to the hospital, and it's starting to get real busy at this hospital because people are freaking out. There are people missing. And what's one of the first places you look is the hospital. I mean, after calling the police, sometimes they say even, go to check the hospital in case somebody's been hurt. And upon hearing what's been happening, because this is 2021 now, we have instant information, right? There was that scene in the bar where everybody's phones start to light up, saying he's not dead.
It's after the fires because they
and the police eventually get so that's after. So I'll wait a second. Get to the hospital, and they're trying to take Laurie Strode back, and the hospital's getting really busy. It's getting kind of chaotic, and then somebody overhears Karen saying, "It's Laurie Strode, that's her name," and taking her back. Who hears her name, right? Who overhears her name?
Sheriff Brackett.
Yes!
Brackett.
Sheriff Brackett. He works
security
actor.
At the hospital.
And not right. It is old age work security at the hospital, because that's a lot of what retired officers or older officers do. Yeah,
It looks good.
And he overhears Laurie's hurt. He obviously knows Laurie and knows what the fuck's going on. Also knows what night it is. And
I'm sure he's got a vivid recollection of that. Which he does tell us later he does.
He does, indeed. Cut to Michael.
One of my favorite scenes, because
oh
my fucking couple. So I want to be them. That is the gravedigger, or that's the graveyard custodian in the first one, is it not? Sandra?
I don't know.
I think that's the one who took the podcasters to I think so. I should have gone back and looked, but I love Sandra. It doesn't really matter. I love Sandra, and what's her husband's name? Phil. Sandra and Phil. Fucking love
Such a
them.
cute ass couple.
Because I was like, this is an interesting couple.
They're hilarious.
They're hilarious.
Right. And
So-
he's like,
She's like flying a drone like you do in your house.
Yeah,
in your house.
And she's darn good at it. They're watching the news, and he's like making some shitty comment about Laurie Strode, like, she's a fucking nutcase. And she goes, quote, better not talk no shit about that woman. She will fuck you up.
Love it.
But then he's like, well, all right. But, let's curl up with a bottle of wine, huh? Let's knock on some Cheez-Its and this whatever wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, that's hot, though, when you're that age. I'm like,
yeah. You're just playing with your drone. Although she's just like, I just want to play with my drone. I was like, you go, girl.
Yeah, in a minute. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately,
but there,
so
he has one of the
sad.
best fucking lines. He says, there's a big fella on in our bathroom, and he's wearing a monster mask. But then poor Phil then just starts getting his shit beat out of him.
Just his ass whooped, and there's, it so breaks my heart, and they're screaming out to each other, and he's telling her to run, but she doesn't want to do it because,
she loves him, obviously. And then Sandra gets one of the best. I mean, she's not dead at this point, but we don't see her quote unquote die, but we see this. It was like she gets a fucking like a light fixture, like one of those light tubes.
Those down a fluorescent light tube, breaks it so with the pointy end, and it's hollow inside at this point.
Yeah.
And he fucking gets her in the neck, and that's basically how she's still kind of breathing, and you can hear it. Did you notice the sound effect? Mm-hmm.
Because then he brings Phil into the kitchen while she's sitting, and she has to watch him stab her husband with every knife they have. And I wrote,
it was horrible.
I just wrote, pretend to be dead, Sandra, pretend to be dead.
I was like, girl, close your eyes.
But I do have to say, he doesn't go over and do
it
it to her. He just kind of leaves because he knows she's dead. So he's not going to.
Right.
But he doesn't do anything.
Breathing. And that's the other thing. He doesn't do overkill.
No. Because he doesn't know. He doesn't have
care.
to.
No. Yeah. That's not what he's about.
My next note. Julian! Exclamation point.
Julian's on the news.
He's on the news, and he's so fucking cute. This kid. All the Julians. I want to adopt this little child. I'm sure he has a very loving family.
So they're at the bar. Everybody sees Julian, cute little Julian, on the news, and this is when everybody's phones start to blow up in the bar about the firefighters, and they're like, "Oh, motherfucking shit!" Good. No, and this is where we learn that Lonnie is Cameron's father, because Lonnie gets a phone call at the bar from Cameron. Mm-hmm. Because after finding the officer.
You kind of know from the beginning, from the first one, because they do.
I didn't,
mention it.
but
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Then, the doctor and nurse.
Yeah. Because they realize they're looking, they're like, holy shit, that's our shitty neighbor kid.
Right. Oh, I know. He's like, that's that little asshole that lives across the street.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And so they're like, oh shit. So they decide to leave.
And as they approach the car, she's, I think he's like, oh, I forgot my stethoscope again, because he forgets it, like, seems to forget it everywhere he goes. So he goes back to the bar. She goes straight to the car. She gets in the car, and she hears him breathing. She hears Michael Myers breathing. Right. Or so she thinks.
Right.
We never see him.
No, because it's right.
Right. And she's like, hell no. And she jumps the fuck out of the car. Smart woman, because she ain't no dummy. She runs out of the car, and she gets to her husband, and she's like, he's in the back seat. Go look. And he's like, go look? No.
Well, then we get to Tommy Doyle says, like, he gets his shit together. Like, he's like, I just wrote, Tommy Doyle's gonna fuck him up. Oh no, that's what the bartender says. Tommy Doyle's gonna go fuck him up.
Yeah.
I just wrote, the Penguin is in town. Because this...
That
so we find out this is one of the prisoners that was on the bus with Michael Myers, who's actually in the car. And he is
right,
dressed...
was it in this movie or the first movie where they... No, it was this movie, I think, where at one point in the hospital, one of the police officers indicates to somebody else that they've gotten... All of the patients have been accounted for, I think, except for 2.
Right, and the penguin is one of them. This guy looks like the fucking penguin. He looks like Danny DeVito as the penguin. Yeah.
Oh, this poor guy.
Then we get to my other favorite couple in this movie, which is Big John and Little John.
I know, Big John, Little John.
Michael McDonald, bitches, has entered the game. Oh my god, I love Michael McDonald.
Love it.
I think, is he gay in real life? I think.
I'm not sure.
I was trying to find out. Not like, I'm going to meet him or anything like that.
Well,
I just wondered.
but...
He plays a gay man a lot. That's what I just kind of wondered.
They are so adorable.
They are so funny.
They're really
sweet. And I just wrote, I love them, and I know they're going to have a horrible death.
I know, which sucks. Because, you first see them and, these kids play this horrible prank on them.
Yeah, that he gave out candy with razor blades in them. And so, but Little John, or Big John, has one of the best lines. He says, he stabbed his sister in the tits right upstairs!
Oh my god.
But those kids don't have their masks on yet, do they?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
No.
That's later, because there is
I was
symbology with the masks.
Too. Yeah. So then, cut back to the hospital. Tommy Doyle is starting to fucking news team assemble all these people.
Avengers assemble.
Yes.
Avengers assemble. Because he's got a chant and everything, like, evil ends tonight, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that evil dies tonight? Evil dies tonight. Okay, dude.
And Allison is all punk rock and wants to go be part of this crazy crowd that wants to go hunt Michael down.
Well, we should also say that Allison and Karen find out at the same time that Michael's not dead. And Karen neglects to tell. Well, not neglects. She outright lies to her mother, not to. Mm-hmm.
and chooses not to tell her mother because her mother needs to rest and heal and everything. Which okay.
What I love though is at one point we see when Allie decides to go on this mythic quest, is that she's standing in front of the morgue windows, and I was like, morgue windows wouldn't be on a floor
that anybody could see,
accessible to people, and the windows wouldn't be open. They only usually do that if they want someone to come identify a body, and they don't want actually them to come into the room.
Right.
Yeah, it's not usually on the first floor.
No.
Nope.
It's usually a very quiet, private, area. But Karen and Allison are arguing, and Allison is like, I want to go off and do this thing, and Karen is like, you think
he's coming here?
You're going to find him? That's cute. No, go sit with Grandma.
Well, and this is where she's trying to convince Karen that Michael Myers is not stalking them, because she said it was the doctor. The doctor was the one who set this whole thing up and set him on, who brought him to this town.
Right, the doctor was the one from the first movie when the doctor, Allison, and Hawkins were traveling together. The doctor was the one that wanted to reunite Laurie and Michael together, therefore going to her house. It had nothing to do, so thus negating that weird cosmic connection that everybody, Laurie included, seemed to believe that existed between Michael and Laurie.
We also then see, this is when they start the posse in the parking lot, and Tommy Doyle and Lonnie. So they open, Lonnie's thinking he's got this big, which also remember that fucking Laurie had in her basement of her house a fucking armory. Here he opens this trunk, and he's got a
fishing tackle.
Yeah, with a couple guns in, which, still, he probably shouldn't be driving around with all those guns. No. But he does have the line. Tommy Doyle goes, you got a permit for all of these? And Lonnie goes, some of them. That one, there were, I have to say, some legit laughs I had. in this.
But it's so true. Tell me we don't all know somebody in our itty bitty hometowns or whatever that are like, please, and
right.
That's what happens. So yeah, we get to the posse in the park, the party in the park with
posse in the park.
In this scene, for all these people, Marion's was a recall back to her survival in the first movie.
So let's walk through how it happens.
Right.
So
he climbs on the car.
Well, first we get Lindsay getting out, and she goes up to the kids, who are playing, which at this point all the kids. Okay.
And these are the same snotty little kids that played a prank on Big and Little John.
Right. And so she's trying to get them to leave, and they're like, "Hey, there's some pervert who's already been here trying to play hide and seek with us." And
look, there he is. He's right over there.
There he is. And so Lindsay, she instead of running back to the car, she then decides to load a pillowcase up with fucking bricks. And at the same time...
Wasn't a bad idea.
Oh, hell no. No, because she had no weapons. So at the same time, yes, fucking Michael Myers yeets on top of this fucking... No, not even just a car. There's a fucking, SUV. So he's yeeting from,
Well, he's done his gymnastics in Smith's Grove,
He didn't have to do any, calisthenics or anything. So... Then
breaks through the... Oh, no, Marion keeps shooting at him.
Right.
Because she's got the gun.
How does the nurse the woman dressed up as a nurse get out of the car?
Her husband tells her to get out and tells her to run away.
Right, and she's got the gun at this point. She's got a gun, and Marion has a gun.
Yeah. Marion at this point has been strangled or killed. Then he stabs the nurse / guy dressed up as a doctor in the eye. Oh, that was nasty.
And then,
and then she, the female, the nurse, the sexy nurse dresses, that's actually a doctor, runs back with the gun.
And is shooting wildly. And
is shooting wildly, yes. And at one point is about to shoot toward him. Michael flips open the car door just at the right second, where the car door hits her hand that's holding the gun, which turns around on herself and shoots herself. I was like, first of all, no, but that is a fucking cool shot.
Yeah.
This movie. And I said, this is why you shouldn't handle a gun if you don't know how to use it. And
although she says she does know how to use it.
She did. But she was still shooting wildly.
Yeah.
It was clear she didn't have that much experience.
Right.
And count your fucking bullets. Because poor Marion.
So Lindsay gets in a couple shots with the pillowcase full of bricks. But then, and she actually she tries to take off the mask, which is what pisses him the fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
And
she knows it.
Yeah, so he runs off. So she runs off, and she eludes him in a very Lord of the Rings-esque.
The
race.
The wraith, right? And they're hiding under the tree stump.
Yeah, that's all I could think about was was Lord of the Rings at that point. Okay, so but Michael Myers splays the bodies out on the
on the playground. I think. Yeah.
They all are wearing different masks. One is a witch, one is a skeleton, and one is a pumpkin.
Is that a callback to 3?
It is!
Hey!
You understand? I've been waiting for 2 fucking movies to be able to say that. Rome's let's look at the movie! Because y'all know how much I love 3.
God, it's so beautiful. All the layers.
It is. I mean, next scene, we go back to the hospital, and they're bringing Frank in to Laurie's room. They have...
Oh, Frank.
And they have a very sweet moment where we find out there's a little bit of a romance between the two of them. We all know that probably Hawkins isn't going to make it, I'm sure, unfortunately, at some point that he's going to get murdered.
Oh, but then Tommy Doyle makes it up to Laurie's room.
Oh, Jesus, does he?
Yeah. I'll be honest, though, this actually, and I wrote that, I was honestly teary-eyed when Tommy told Laurie, you protected me 40 years ago, and I'm going to protect you. Mm-hmm. And it just, like, got me a little foot clamped, you know?
Yeah.
Because he respects her so, so much.
The dialogue with Tommy is a little... I don't know, it's ham-fisted a little bit, but I think Anthony Michael Hall did a fine job. I think it's just, the dialogue was kind of clunky for me, but that's just me.
There was a lot going on.
There's a lot of clunky dialogue in this one in general, because it's a lot of exposition. There's a lot of just...
There really is, especially from the moment Laurie finds out that Michael isn't dead on. The movie is 60 miles an hour.
And it's a lot of over voiceover of just kind of rote and blah dialogue that it's just, here's the plot and this is what's happening. And it's a lot about fate and becoming a monster and blah blah, ramping up, and the more he kills, the more he becomes inhuman. And I'm like, okay.
See, I liked that. Every time someone's afraid, the boogeyman wins, is a quote from this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just...
And I can't help but feel like the more amped up... okay, so wait, I think we're jumping...
I think it's because we don't have Loomis. If we had Loomis to deliver those lines, it would be different.
But we don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's what
any, doc...
if they hadn't killed... they hadn't played Sartain like they did, and he had been a Loomis... then he could spout those, because they're very
but look, there is no voice of reason in this, right? And
that's what I'm saying.
Part of what's happening.
You can put that all in your... We talked about pop psychology. You can put those in the pop psychology, but it's okay. You accept it more coming from a mouth like Loomis or a doctor who's dealing with psychology, not just random Laurie Strode. Not that she couldn't be philosophical or deep down with that, but it's just kind of like, I don't need Tommy Doyle, It's fine.
Agreed. But at this point in the film, at this point in the plot, everything is fucking raining shit. There are apparently half the town or more are at this hospital, and you know what happens, right? And or they think the police are, and then voices get angry, right?
Yep.
And what happens with a mob mentality crowd, huh?
We get the January 6th insurrection.
I can't help but think. I
actually literally wrote January 6th insurrection.
Yes.
I did. I wrote it in.
And how quickly it gets out of hand, where they were killing innocent people.
Yep.
Or attempting to kill innocent people.
But we haven't actually, unfortunately, gotten to that part
No,
yet.
we haven't, but...
No, we're getting angry, though. We're getting angry, and we get the evil dice tonight. They're all chanting it. And you can see Karen is starting to get really nervous because she sees where this is going.
And she's a psychologist as well.
And she's also now just told her mother that Michael is not dead. Right. So, and Laurie, after their sweet moment together with Frank, she's asked the nurse to give him a double dose of whatever painkillers. So he's out, but she then is like, I'm fucking finishing this. And when Allie left, she left the butcher knife and left it with her mom. That's the other line. It was
clothes.
And she said something like, you can use this to protect. It was a really lame line. I was
this is for you to use later or whatever.
Something. I was like, okay, it's fine. I guess the part is 78. We didn't need these lines, and so Laurie finds she starts to put her clothes on. Then she gives her fucking self a shot of painkillers right in the hip.
Oh,
I was like, damn, girl. Well,
having, and they do show part of her surgery earlier in the film where they're like, she gonna be hurting for a while, not just because of the the wound, but because they had to sew up an organ.
Yeah, and her abdominal wall. They said they're worried that it would have been because part of it had fallen, from what I understand. From what they say, something like, excuse me.
I can't imagine that pain. I cannot.
I just wrote the next line is, the Johns are gonna get it. Damn it!
I know, I was so mad.
So
And I was like, wait, dude, Michael doesn't knock.
I guess if he's playing cat and mouse, maybe. I don't know.
I was kind of turned off by that. But yeah.
I just wrote, Big John has entered the fight. Because he starts taking off his rings. He must be taking those earrings off.
Hold my earrings.
Yeah.
We gonna do
Hold my
this.
beer, bitch. You know, coming into my house. Because they realize quickly that there's somebody in the house.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
these
bummed
deaths.
me out.
So
I was glad not to see it, though. Well, most of it.
well, we get to see Big John's.
Big John's, yeah. It was not, ugh. And then, I don't know, somehow Cameron and... Oh, because Big John... P.S. Big John and Little John live in Michael Myers' old house.
Right. I wrote, I love what they did to this house. It was gorgeous.
I do,
inside.
too. They made some lovely improvements. Michael
did. I
should
love
be,
Cameron.
grateful that they made it so nice.
But what's really rough is he ends up killing Big John in Judith's bedroom.
Yeah.
And Little John, which is really funny because obviously Little John is taller than Big John. Big John's shorter.
It's cute.
It's really super cute. And Little John says, "Oh, you came home. Michael, you came home."
Yeah.
And we don't see Little John's stuff, but Big John's stuff was rough. I mean, he digs his fingers into this actor's eyeballs. Like there's blood. I mean, it's rough.
Disgusting. It's really gory, girl.
Yeah.
Woo!
So then we go back to the hospital, and at this point we know that the patient. Let me start again. We know that the patient has come to the hospital, and is and at this point, then this whole posse thinks he's Michael Myers.
Right.
So he's running.
They're like, it's him instead because he's a mental patient, and they know that's where.
Pandemonium right now at this point.
Absolute ridiculous, unreasonable.
Doctors are pushing people out of the fucking way. Yeah. Doctors push. At one point, Lori pushes a doctor up against the wall, and he knees her in the stomach.
Yeah.
And Karen gets pushed against the wall later, a little later. It's crazy.
It made me so uncomfortable. And I have to hope that's exactly what they were going for, right? It was just so nerve-wracking.
Because then we get another flashback.
Yeah.
We get a flashback to Hawkins. Hawkins is like, "This is all my fault." And she's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "This is my fault. I could have killed him when I had the chance." So we get this whole
prevented, thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We get from right when, after McCabe dies and he comes out and Michael has been surrounded. He stops Loomis from shooting him.
Yeah, Loomis is about to gross point blank execution style, and he takes Loomis's arms and the gun shoots up in the air.
And you can tell that he has so much regret over this.
Yeah.
And
but obviously, he didn't know because he didn't know.
Right. And so then we move to Karen trying to get this poor man out of this hospital because they're going to rip him limb from limb. Yeah. So she convinces him in one of the saddest scenes.
Poor guy. I know.
Oh my God. This is where I started getting teared up because she was approaching him like a scared puppy. Like,
yeah, like it's okay.
It's okay.
And she knows how fragile his mind may be. She doesn't know who he is.
Right. She's like, "I won't let them hurt you. I promise I won't let." And then you can just see it because. So she gets him so that way, like she gets him in a hallway where there's doors on either end, and she locks the one door and because she thinks that she's gonna be able to talk this fucking lynch mob down. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "I promise I won't let them hurt you."
Oh, it breaks my heart.
And so she's standing there guarding the doors, and they pretty much throw her out of the way, pretty much.
Point.
So they're banging
and
on
she
either
knows
side
she's
of the
gonna
door.
get.
Yeah, and they're banging on either side of the door. And this poor man is just so scared. And the penguin is so scared. And so he takes a fire extinguisher, breaks the window, and jumps out in a horrific... We follow him down to the fucking ground, and there is a splat. It was horrific.
Yeah, it was gross.
And I wanted to be like, "Are you not entertained?"
I know.
Jesus, people. And like,
Or
that's
a curse on both your houses.
But before he does, Tommy and Karen Cheryl look, and she mouths, "It's not him," and he looks like, "Oh shit,
Yeah,
we can't stop this."
No,
And so they're down in the
which
parking
she was
lot.
trying to,
Right.
But one person trying to scream over an entire crowd.
Right.
That's already gunning for it. It's just, and that's another. Yeah, many, many, many thoughts about January of this year.
It's 100%. It has to be.
It has to be. Because look what happens, and then all these characters are saying, "Now it's our fault. Now we're the monsters."
Mm-hmm. Although those people don't believe that they're monsters. No.
Anywho,
so,
Allison and Cameron end up at, and their father, or I'm sorry, not their father. Ugh. Cameron's father, Lonnie, end up at the Michael Myers house.
But this is before that is when Tommy and Karen says, like, because Tommy's like, I didn't know, and he's like, what can I do now? And she's like, I'll tell you what you can do. I need a car. He's like, I got a car. So that's what we know. It
reminded me of, like, do you remember American Beauty when Kevin Spacey's character is like gross, disgustingly obsessed with like his daughter's friend? He's like, we have a car. Do you want to get in our car? You want to come with us? And it was like that nervous talk. It's like, I have a car.
I have a car. But like you can see that Tommy's trying to make up for. So we know that there's a plan going on underneath things, because then we go to Lonnie, who I wrote at one point, I could just smell the cigarettes and booze on him through the screen.
Oh yeah.
Like he's got the raspy, I've been smoking for like my whole entire life voice. Right. Like, and he looks like he stinks like. Oh yeah. Like I can't even.
Raw. Yep.
Yep. But I still love him. I mean, it's Lonnie. And this is where we get the talk where Lonnie says that Ray was the one who sold him peyote. Okay, here's my question. How is no one calling each other? How is Lonnie not calling Tommy and being like, dude, I'm going to the house. I figured it out. Because they pull a map out and Lonnie's the one who figures out he's going home. Why is no one being like, beep, beep, even just a text going like, hey, we're going over to the Myers house to check it out? Because Karen knows where he's going. Yeah. We don't know that, but Karen knows.
Because she's a Strode. That's why.
Also, why are the lights out in the house?
What house?
The Myers house. The lights are completely gone. Completely out. Why?
Well, that was kind of Michael's MO in the past, right?
I guess.
Maybe it was a callback to how ridiculous that was. Or maybe he was trying to set a romantic mood for how we find Big and Little John.
That was the Anne Murray. Let's just get that right. Fucking little side story about Ray here is I fucking love Anne Murray. I never liked Anne Murray until the fucking Family Guy episode where Stewie finds Anne Murray for the first time. He realizes she's amazing and he's listened to her all the time, and he gets Brian obsessed with Anne Murray until they go visit to go see Anne Murray. And I started listening to her music and I was like, she's actually pretty baller. I kind of actually like her a lot. Yeah. Yeah, she's kind of amazing. She is. Anyhow. And it's Could I Have This Dance, which I'm like, oh. But.
It's so.
Well, here's my question for you. I'm going to ask this question.
Can I ask about the photo?
No, it's about why this room. If you like you said, if he's setting up something romantic. There's where my brain went. Why this room? Why his sister? Why come back to this house? Why look out the window? Why? What are they trying to say here? Why Anne Murray? Well, we don't know Anne Murray because of Little John and Big John. Yeah. But what is the obsession with his sister? Because there's an obsession. I mean, it's an obsession. Why continue coming back to that house and continue coming back to that room every single time?
I mean, we could go on for hours about this, and if we knew the answer to that...
I mean, I guess I will give Rob Zombie credit for being the one person who's actually looked into it, who's actually postulated about it.
Yeah, but it was...
garbage.
Yeah.
But he also took into account more, the second movie too. So about him and Laurie being siblings, but there was a sexual element to that, which I think there is here, or something. It's something. It's weird. It's weird that
so you can look at it this way.
He didn't kill any of his other family, just her.
Yeah. So maybe you can think of it this way. This was when you think of like when everybody's saying he's going home, and over the years and over all these movies that he's going home, he's coming home.
Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times
home to him is not the house, it's not the structure. His home base, his zero setting. Mm-hmm. Is her bedroom, because that's the birth of when he became who he is now. Mm-hmm. So you could, theorize it based on that like where his, I mean, for lack of a better phrase, where his...
I mean, the tagline of Halloween Luna, is the night he came home.
Yeah.
So what is it about her room in particular and her that he focuses and obsesses on?
I don't think it's about Judith. I don't think it's about her. That was his first kill. That's where he feels safest. That's where he feels home.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And Luna agrees.
Yeah, she does. She says, "Mom, give it up and just move on." I guess, at some point, I'll have to, send a letter to Mr. Carpenter and ask him.
You should.
Because he's going to be like,
why not?
Who's this 4-year-old woman just fucking raping me?
Whatever.
Anyhow, he's got better things
to
do.
I wanted to get back to Big John and Little John. I thought it was cute and kind of funny. And also, do we need to look deeper into this other than it was an accident maybe? Where they show a photo of Big John and Little John. One's in the lap and one's sitting up. And it's like a nice, sweet photo of maybe when they were first dating or first together or whatever. And then you see them posed in their death. And they're flipped. The one in the photo that was sitting up is now in the lap, vice versa. Was that an accident? Just food for thought. It very well could have been an accident.
Well, one's eyes are plucked out and the other ones aren't. So
yeah, it's pretty gross. They're sunken in. Blech. Blech.
I just wrote closets again. Because at this point, so Lonnie's gone in the house. Lonnie's like, I'm gonna fucking take care of this myself. And Cameron and Allie are in the car, like, are you fucking kidding us? Right. So he goes in the house and they hear a gunshot and they're like, let's go do this.
All right, yeah, we're going in now.
We're going in, and they both have she's got a shotgun. Is this a sawed-off shotgun? I think. I don't know. She's got a sawed-off shotgun, and he's got just a regular gun. And there's the closet. They open the closet door and they shoot in there, and of course it's just a pumpkin, a jack-o'-lantern, right?
I'm still in the closet. I'm in the closet here.
Nice. If you didn't know, Ween and I love South Park. Ween knows more. She's a huge fan. I'm a big fan.
Massive.
She's a huge fan.
Ridiculous. Gigantic. Yep. I should probably have my own podcast on South Park, but it's fine.
Lonnie goes upstairs. Sorry. What's his name? Cameron goes upstairs. And
this
finds...
death, though.
Yeah.
They
find his dad. His dad has been, murdered and shoved into the attic and kind of hanging out like Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation. And
that was horrible.
Oh my God. He gets his head through the rungs of the the railing.
He's stabbed several times.
Yes, like, but his head is
nasty.
just beat, and I don't. It's hard. It was hard for me to see exactly what was happening. I couldn't tell if the bottom rung was going through his neck, but he was trying to rip his head off at some point. Like that's what the main goal was, to rip his head off. Allie gets a good shot in and then falls down the stairs and breaks her foot. I think
it was her leg. I mean,
something like she can't walk,
and she's screaming because, girl, you heard those bones break. Mm-hmm.
And then so here's Michael walking down the stairs.
As he does.
But then he gets to Cameron.
Right.
And then he
turns over and he reaches out slowly to Cameron's head
and almost looks at her while he's doing it. Like looking like, look what I'm going to fucking do to your boyfriend.
But I wonder, too, if it's like, to me, I was like, oh, here, let me just get that for you. Just
let me straighten your vertebrae for you.
Here, I got it. Here you go. And he snaps his neck. Oh!
Yeah.
So many neck snaps.
Yes. Oh.
Snaps.
Snaps. In a Z formation.
As he goes toward Allison.
There's a weird soundtrack change here. It was really weird. Yeah, I mean, it was fine. It worked, but it was a really weird diegetic sound. It was like this kind of Halloween-esque soundtrack, and this changed. It was odd. It was fine. It worked, but it was one of those where it was noticeable enough that I was like, what's happening? But, then we get, he's coming for Allie. He's coming. And,
at some point, back like several minutes back in the film, when there's a knock at the Myers house door and Big John / Little John are checking out the knocks, I think Big John, they think it's the little kids being shitty again. And you see part of the Halloween decorations on their front door is a pitchfork, and
Big John Gothic, isn't it?
Yes, and Big John makes a comment like something about the pitchfork, and I'm like, that's gonna come up later.
Yeah.
Jump to now.
Yeah, because as he's coming for Allie, she's on the floor with a broken leg, and all of a sudden, here comes Karen, and she pitchforks the fuck out of him right through his back.
Yeah. So good.
Then she curb stomps him, which makes me laugh. And then she then takes the mask off.
Yeah.
Which, at this point, I would have been like, just fucking cut his head off.
Cut
his fucking head off.
A la H2O. Do it.
Tee
up.
Yep. But instead, he gets up because he's supernatural, and she's taunting him with this fucking mask.
Yeah.
And so they
he like slowly walks out into the street.
He's being surrounded. He walks like the kid he walks like his child self from H1.
Yeah. James
Courtney must have studied it, because he does. I was like, that was literally what I said. He walks like the kid in H1.
Really?
Yes. His arms are out to the side. Like, it's very much like that last pose you get little baby Michael in, where he's got the mask, and they pull the mask off of him.
Yeah.
He walks like that, with his arms to the sides, like, kind of like, I can't put my arms down. And he's got the knife, and he walks like that across the street down. Like, he follows Karen, and he doesn't run. He does his lumbering, but he walks, and he gets into a trap. They've set a trap for him. Mm-hmm. Someone legit has an iron. One woman is there. She brought an iron to a knife fight.
Like a clothing iron?
A clothing iron. What? Yup.
What is this, Home Alone?
Yeah, right? Yup.
These are not the wet bandits.
No, they are not. They are not. Here, I am actually sending you right now a picture of the lady with an iron. I'm putting in the chat. Here you go. This poor lady does not make it out, but that's fine.
I wonder if it's who I think it is.
She legit is gonna iron out some evil tonight. She's gonna get the wrinkles out of this evil. Yeah.
It's wireless.
Yeah, right?
So dumb.
They go to fucking town.
Oh,
they
yeah,
straight
do.
up
It's
fucking
so satisfying,
Irishman this.
Yeah.
They let fucking do it. And short of cutting his goddamn head off was which again, cut his fucking head off, people. But Karen gets one shoulder stab in before. And they just
nice one.
And Tommy's like, leave, Karen, we've got this.
Yeah.
And again, they wait too long.
Tommy?
But dude, because they literally, someone shoots him 6 times.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! But so right before everybody goes to fucking town, Sheriff Brackett, what does he say? What does he say, Ray?
He says, "It's Halloween. Everyone's entitled to one good scare."
Yeah.
Yup.
So satisfying.
But literally everyone dies.
But yeah.
I mean, and I have to say, these kills were fucking brutal.
Nasty. Okay, so the usual thing happens, right? And I actually liked this. Where
I did too.
You think, we have the usual thing. We think he's dead. And then there's a voiceover, I think of Lori or Frank.
It's Lori.
I think it was Lori. And they're showing, Karen is comforting Allison. And, we're starting to kind of trail off mentally, right? But then someone gets close. And this is all during voiceover, and it's all slow-mo, right? Like, Sheriff Brackett gets close to the body to because he's going to do a final.
He's got the rights
tap.
to go. Yeah,
he definitely of any of them there has the right
Deserves
to blow
it.
his fucking head off, and he's about to. And then with a snap, Michael gets up and fucking tears his neck. Poor Sheriff Brackett. And it's like he's got 20 times the strength he had just a minute ago.
It's like in an old school like a martial arts film.
Yeah.
Where it's like he fucking Bruce Lee goes to town on everybody around him.
Everyone. Slashing them up brutally.
Poor Iron Lady gets it. Yeah.
Everybody, even Tommy Doyle.
Yeah, Tommy Doyle's the last kill. Because Tommy's standing there and he's getting blood shot in his face, and he's just like he's stunned.
Yeah. At the same time, we're also cutting to to Karen during this voiceover, where she decides to go because she's like, I'm here. I'm at she's at the Myers house. She decides to go upstairs to Judith's room. Being a psychologist,
she wants
and
to
also being the daughter of this infamous victim, she wants to get that perspective because of the thing where like he was always looking out of her bedroom window. Karen gets up there again during this entire voiceover. Oh, I was so mad though. I was heartbroken, but you knew it was going to happen.
It was going to be her or Allie, one of the two.
Yeah,
it's not going to be Lori because Lori's obviously going to win.
Yeah,
but
that's what
she gets stabbed a number of times horribly, and has those classic. And she's just as stunned as like Tommy Doyle just was. Yeah, like because she thought she got the final blow with the stab wound, and there he is in Judith's room stabbing her to death. Yeah, he had snuck away from all of it and gone back around and snuck into the house because he snuck in the back way. Yeah. So yeah, it's a super sad ending and
super sad, but at the same time, cinematically, chef's kiss.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the alternative ending. I'm assuming she still dies, but because I mean
I'm curious too.
Yeah, story wise, she has to.
Yeah,
because you can't have all 3 make it out. You can't.
No.
I mean, Ray had to be the one who died in the first one. Either what happens is Lori dies, and we've got Lori and Michael both die in the last one, and Allie's
That's
alive.
what I'm wondering.
Yeah,
that they both do.
Yeah, because both of them can't live. someone has to die.
Yeah.
So, but that is that, guys.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's do some ratings here.
Yes, ma'am. Blood droplets, blood and gore.
Oh, this one ramped it up. I'm gonna say 4. I'm still gonna say I'm gonna keep it under 5. Yeah, I've seen bloodier, but this was pretty gory.
Yeah, I'm giving it 4 as well. Skeletons, spooky, scary.
I'm gonna say 3. Yeah, I'm gonna say 3 because even though I was tense through a lot of it, like I was tense through the Johns because I knew they were gonna get it. I just didn't. I didn't want him to. I didn't either.
Yeah, I gave it 2 because it was the one before this was more. I think had me more in my seat.
2.5. Yeah.
Sex/romance.
0. I mean,
but I'm not mad at it.
No, it's better. Like, I don't need sex.
Agreed. I don't need
titties. Thank you. I
really don't.
I think we are getting to the point now, though, where we can have horror movies with not the obligatory sex scene, and people are fine with
men.
it.
Can we please? A fucking men.
Yeah.
Fun/entertainment. Cold Black Hearts.
I'm gonna say 3, just because I did not have fun. I don't think it is good as the first one. I think it's a means to an end.
You gave it a what? 1?
3. I said it's not as good as the first one.
But no, I agree. I still gave it 5 though, because I had a fucking great time screaming at my TV.
Yeah, and I didn't have that. I thought I would, but I was just kind of like there was a lot of eye rolls up in this place, just because the dialogue. That was my own opinion though. So, coolio.
Hey,
we did it, guys. We fucking did it.
Yeah, we did it.
All right, let's do some recommendations of things that we want to talk about, and then we're going to talk about the schedule coming up. How about that?
Sounds great.
Ween, tell us what's been your ears and eyeballs. Your earballs and eyeballs.
I'm a huge documentary watcher. I've mentioned this before, alluded to this before in like maybe the first or second episode. It's a documentary called Hot Coffee. And if anyone's familiar with the McDonald's hot coffee case, or you think you're familiar, let me tell you, you're not.
You're not!
It's an hour and a half. It's a nice shorty. It's an hour and a half documentary. It used to be on Netflix, but I guess you can't get it that way anymore. So if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, it's free.
Nice.
Otherwise, you can find it YouTube, Apple TV to rent. But the overall purpose of this documentary is what launched as a result of this highly publicized McDonald's hot coffee case is people discussing tort reform in the United States, and that becoming and people not, thinking they understand it, but they don't really. And it also, tort reform also puts a cap on, what do you call it? Judicial prizes. I don't want to say prizes. That's not the right word. Judicial awards. So say you're serving on a jury. Everybody has jury duty, right? And if you're serving as a jurist on like a civil case, neighbor cuts their other neighbor's tree down on their side of the lawn, wah, 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 award damages. Well, there's differences, right? There's punitive damages. And what tort reform has done is, even, let's say the jury awards, the jury of your peers awards a certain number, say it's like $2 million, saying, like, if somebody was hurt, somebody slipped and fell on the ice of your establishment, we're awarding these people $2 million because they're probably going to at least have that in medical costs going forward or whatever. Tort reform puts a cap on that amount. And that's almost precisely what happened to this woman as well.
She got 2.9, right?
She was awarded 2.9 mil. Got a couple $100,000 maybe. Yeah.
And her clitoris was burnt off.
That's what I'm saying. So what the jury thinks they're awarding these people
does
not
clitoris these days?
That's what I'm saying. Like, this kind of crazy, this kind of stuff is fucking crazy. And it's still happening, where the jury is thinking they're appropriately awarding a certain amount to somebody.
Let's be honest.
That actual amount never gets the light of day.
Let's be honest. We are a nation of that's 200 years old and still has so many issues. I mean, gerrymandering done.
Right. Oh my God. Yeah, that's
so this tort reform is not surprising to me that we haven't fucking figured it out.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited to watch this.
This documentary. You should. You absolutely should. It's actually 10 years old, this documentary.
Well, it'll deviate from me watching a whole bunch of videos of people riding through dark rides. Because I have no life, but okay, it's fine.
Oh my God. Please do. So that's my recommendation. It's called Hot Coffee.
Well, I, this week, delved down to the Disney Plus, because I finally got it working again.
The Disney?
Plus, yeah. So I watched the beginning of Hawkeye, which I enjoyed. I don't like Jeremy Renner that much, because he seems like a big douche in real life. And he kind of is. But, look up... but I enjoy him and Haley Steinfeld together. I enjoy her very much. She's adorable. And so I enjoyed Hawkeye. I would recommend.
Oh, nice.
It is very good. And there's like some really good cameos in it. However, I'm going to still stay in the Marvel Universe and recommend, since I finally fucking saw it, is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
That is next on my list. I've really been wanting to see it.
So good.
Yeah.
Usually Awkwafina drives me crazy. She's so good in it. But let me just tell you, Simu Liu.
Oh, you sent me pictures. Oh.
So also, I would recommend his.
I'd like some whipped cream off of that.
There is a sketch on Saturday Night Live when he hosted a couple weeks ago. That I'm going to tell you right now. Did I send it to you? Mm-mm. It's the Bake Off one. I was crying. I actually might make you watch it before you leave tonight.
I probably will.
To see if you will cry as much as I was crying over it. A cake throws up, FYI, at some point.
Oh, gross.
But yeah, it's funny. But it's like Michelle Yeoh is in it. Tony Leung is in it, and he's like I think he's almost 60 years old. The man is fucking ageless. He's gorgeous, and he plays Simu Liu's dad. But Simu Liu, besides being really good looking, the martial arts in it is amazing. It's so good.
I've been wanting to see this real bad. From
what I understand is they're hoping to possibly build out like Awkwafina's character who plays Katie, and then Shang-Chi's sister into like a couple at some point. At some point. It's really good. It's funny. It fits. I've heard people say that it doesn't fit in the Marvel universe, but I think it fits into the Marvel universe really well. Because there are references to other to what happened like with Thanos and the Snap and a whole bunch of stuff. So I think he fits really well to the universe pretty well. So I agree. I would wholeheartedly recommend.
Beautiful.
Okay, let's talk about our schedule.
Whew. Our schedule.
All right, so guys, you get a Christmas present, meaning you get to hear us early for a week, because we're going to record next week. We're going to record Black Christmas 1970, whatever, and also Black Christmas 2018.
20,000?
You know what I'm saying. I've had some libations. 2019. So I've heard some bad things about, right now.
I'm excited.
I am too, because I've heard bad things, but I've also heard some good things. If you're a feminist, you might like Black Christmas, the 2019 one. It has a 3.4 on IMDb and a 39% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, but I've seen Black Christmas, the 1974 version, a number of times, and I fucking love it.
And
so
I've seen neither, so this is very exciting for me.
I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to love both of them.
I probably will. This might be a new staple.
Margot Kidder is in the 1974 version as a fucking drunk, and it's amazing.
Sweet.
Yeah. So that's gonna come out probably. Let me look at my calendar. So if we're recording it next weekend, it's gonna come out on probably the 21st. So that I have enough time to edit it. And then so that'll be our Christmas episode. And then we're going to take a break for the Christmas holiday, obviously. And we'll be back probably, I'm looking at our calendar, and it'll probably be back on we'll record the week after New Year's. So then we will come back. Our first episode will be the 11th. And we've decided, so when you think of New Year's, what do you think of, Ween? Don't say what I said to you.
God damn it. I will. Libations, partying.
Okay. Where would you usually have those partying? Where would you do that partying if you could?
I've never gone to New York, but I think that would be a nightmare.
So I've decided to make it New York centric because we're trying to find something that has a couple franchises that had two or three or fewer, I should say, films that we could actually do. Like, because I don't want to do because I'll explain what we're going to do after this. But so we've decided to do first. We're going to do Chud, Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers, because there's Chud 1 and there's Chud 2. Chud 2, but the Chud. I mean, I've decided this poor Ween is in for the haul. And then the week after that is going to be Basket Case 1 and 2. We can't find 3. 3 is unavailable. I'm not buying it, guys.
It's so bad that it's
unavailable. Right. It's kind of like Ghoulies Goes to College. One of those ones you can't get. Ghoulies something you can't get.
Yeah.
So we're not doing Basket Case 3. If y'all know how to get a copy and you really need us to watch it, I guess we'll do a one-off at some point, but I ain't watching it. But I can get Basket Case 1 and 2. So we're watching those. And then in February, we're going to do fucking Candyman, guys.
Yes.
How fucking excited I am for this?
I am legit.
Yeah. So then March, guys.
Women's History.
No. Is that why we're doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Hold on. In March?
No. So there's a series coming out on Netflix, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It premieres in February. So we're going to do Texas Chainsaw Massacre starting in March, because that way we can finish up Candyman and then move on to Texas. Okay. So anyhow, that's what's coming up. So let's sign off and let these people go to bed. Wonderful people who listen to us. Wonderful listeners.
Sorry about it.
Oh, you can find us.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can find us on social media. Our
Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah, and Facebook. Also, our website will be up and working correctly this month. So,
woo!
Just search out boobs, booze, and blood. You'll find us. Anyhow, let's
don't just enter boobs though.
I mean, safe search on. Yes. I mean, safe search. Fucking, if you're me, just put it in.
Sure.
That's what she said. So this is Ray signing off.
And Ween. Bye.
This has been the Booze, Boobs, and Blood podcast.
I don't know.
Thanks for the motor money. Have a good night, guys.
Bye.